What's up, Carly? Good to see you as well. I see you here. I hope you're all doing well. Hi, Christina. Thanks for the galaxy right off the bat, jumping right in there. Hope you're all doing well. Happy day before Thanksgiving. So I suppose Thanksgiving Eve. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. That might have just been better to say. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here, watch for a little bit, and listen to us debate MAGA. You know, they're still kicking around. They're still kicking around. So listen, do me a favor. If you're just getting in the live, if you're just getting here right now, first of all, you're very early. But second of all, make sure to double tap the screen. Let's try to get to 100,000 likes super quickly. When that bar comes up, fill it up maybe once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times, 4 times. If you're feeling generous, the pink bar comes up. You can double tap the screen and boost it. And the likes, send it out to more people, all that good stuff. And of course, spam those shares down there. That also helps boost the live. And if you are new here, which I think I just saw somebody in the chat say they are new here, which I appreciate. If you are new here, make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. We do these lives all the time. All right, everybody. And also, Venmo, Cash App in the link in the bio if you want to support the live. Now I think I've hit everything. Now I think we've gone down the checklist and all that good stuff. So, look at this. I'll be your date to the White House Christmas party, huh? I'm honored. I don't see the Venmo. It's at the very bottom of the link in my bio. It's all the way at the bottom. Listen, if you are MAGA, and you are a Republican, you voted for Donald Trump, you support Trump, you don't like Kamala Harris, you don't like Joe Biden, you don't like the Democratic Party generally, then come up and tell me why. Tell me why on earth you're MAGA, man. Man, it's crazy. It's every day Trump's president-elect term, or whatever you want to call it, him being president-elect, just keeps getting worse. I can only imagine how his presidency is going to go. So anyway, as I said, if you're MAGA, let me know. I'll bring you up. We can talk. And we'll go from there. Jeremiah says he's MAGA. We'll give him an invite. See what he has to say, if anything. Tommy says he's MAGA. Let's give Tommy an invite. Oh, he's connecting. Wait, hold on now. Trump won, sending a rose right now. Maybe that person wants to come up. I don't know. What's up, Tommy?
Hello.
Yeah, what's good, man? How old are you?
24.
24. Good. All right, man. Why you MAGA? Why'd you vote for Trump?
Well, I'm America first. I'm not really MAGA, but
whatever you want to call it.
I mean, what's the opposite of what else is there besides MAGA?
I don't know, like decency, respect, factual information,
So that's what Biden and Harris ran on, decency? I never heard them say that one. Or maybe they said that, but it wasn't like a slogan of theirs.
Yeah, I'm not really, maybe, I don't know if you were asking me about slogans. I'm not talking about slogans right now. I'm talking about like who they are, how they would lead the country. You're asking me like, what's the opposite of supporting Trump? Decency, character.
You said, are you MAGA? Do you believe in making America great again?
Yeah, so MAGA is just like the ideology that Donald Trump has coined. He goes around saying, we're MAGA, we're MAGA, I'm MAGA, right? So
yeah, do you believe in like that the country was prosperous, like at our earlier point?
I don't know what again means. When were we great?
I mean, so you think we're at our best right now?
No, I'm just like, you're saying like, make America great again. When was again?
Fuck it. Well, are we great right now then?
I think we're pretty great. Country. Yeah.
We're at our greatest right now?
I think we're very prosperous right now, yeah.
You would say we're at our greatest?
Yeah, I'd say we're probably. I'd say we're at our greatest right now.
That's what the Biden administration said.
Yeah, that's like wild.
I mean, what's your argument against us being a good country right now?
I feel like you would agree with a bunch of Bernie talking points.
Okay, I don't know how to respond to what I just said.
Would you not think that like
are you capable of answering your question? Like, why are you against me saying that we're a good country right now?
Well, I'm not against that, but I'm saying we're not the greatest that we were.
Okay, when were we the greatest?
I mean, I'm not going to give an exact day, but I guess I don't know.
What is these points?
I guess the 70s, 80s. I don't know.
70s and 80s.
Definitely not after anything in my lifetime or your lifetime.
You think we were better in the 70s than we are now, like in the midst of the Cold War?
Yeah, I think it's World War III happening right now.
I think that's delusional. The idea, and also like we didn't have as much advancement in medicine and science. And we had like Reagan. The AIDS epidemic happened around that time.
You think the Cold War was worse than the Ukraine and Russia conflict and the Israel conflict? What's happening in the Middle East?
I actually think that there's an argument to be made for that being the case because it lasted for so long and there was like a constant threat of the United States, like the homeland, getting nuked. But I think when you factor in everything else, like the lack of, we didn't have as much medical development then. We didn't have as much scientific development then. The Cold War was taking place. The AIDS epidemic took place. Reagan was there. I definitely think that right now is better than then for sure.
But human life, do you think the death toll is similar to the Cold War compared to?
I'm not even talking about death toll. No.
Well,
but I mean, like with AIDS, a lot of people died.
What? So we should take Fauci's approach on that.
Are you watching like the Transformers in the background? Can you mute your goddamn TV if you're going to be up here?
Is this me?
Wait, why are you bringing AIDS into this? I mean.
Because you're saying that we were great in like the 70s and the 80s. I'm telling you that's when around the AIDS epidemic happened.
Okay, and that affected the gays. It's like it was like a small minority of the population and was solved quickly.
What?
The AIDS epidemic?
It affected... they're Americans. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah,
it affected the American people. How about that?
And then I can't speak. It majorly affected the gay community.
I don't know. It just affected the American people. You know that like heterosexual couples can get AIDS as well, right?
Yeah, but do you know how heterosexual couples have sex compared to gay couples?
But I'm telling you that it can be transmitted via heterosexual couples as well. That's why straight people get AIDS all the time.
What the hell does this have to do with Trump?
Do you know that?
Because this guy's talking about the most random stuff right now. I asked him a question like 10 minutes ago about why he voted for Donald Trump, and now we're talking about the AIDS epidemic because he was wondering what "Make America Great Again" means. So can you now tell me why you voted for Donald Trump?
Me?
We're talking about
no, not you, him.
Once great.
What? Why did you vote for Donald Trump?
Well, now you're just shifting the topic.
No, the topic is literally about Donald Trump.
Yeah, we're talking about why.
And I asked you a question like 10 minutes ago that you've dodged. Why did you vote for Donald Trump?
Because he's going to make America great again. There.
Okay, why? How do you think he's going to do that?
He's going to close the border.
Okay, how is he going to close the border?
He's going to deport, I don't know, 20 million or something.
So now you're just making shit up, right? You don't even know why you voted for Donald Trump. That's why you didn't answer the question. You don't even know.
Deport like 30 million undocumented, whatever.
You don't even know. You don't even know why you voted for Donald Trump.
I just told you.
Okay, so why is deporting all of the undocumented migrants that Donald Trump talked about is a good thing?
Okay, do you live in a sanctuary city, or have you?
I'm just asking you a question. Why do you think deporting all those people is a good thing?
Because they're under false pretenses. They're economic migrants. They're not. They're fleeing asylum, but the asylum they're fleeing is economic.
Yeah, so, well, first of all, if you're here on asylum, you're here legally. So you're not subject to deportation before you've gone through, like, a due process system in the court.
But
so Donald Trump is primarily talking about undocumented migrants when he says this, of which there are around estimated 11 million in the United States. Why is deporting all of those people a good thing?
Because they were freaking moving them to swing states. Yeah, I will.
Oh, no. Okay, you're going to make an even worse argument. Oh, my God.
That isn't an argument? Were they not shipped them to swing states?
No.
Have you been to a sanctuary city recently? Like New York?
What do you define as a sanctuary city?
Like New York City. Have you been there?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's not a swing state.
Have you seen the Roosevelt Hotel or...
Yeah, those are for like mostly asylum seekers.
I mean, have you gone outside it though?
Yeah, I've been around New York. Yes.
Okay. I mean,
have you been around New York?
Yeah, I used to live there. One of the reasons I left is because of that.
You left because asylum seekers are staying at the Roosevelt Hotel. Well,
because of my taxes were
y'all are so soft, man. Y'all are so soft.
Harry, my taxes were going to it.
Can I ask you
so soft, man. Y'all are so soft. Harry, your tax dollars went to migration under Donald Trump as well, buddy. If you know that.
Hey, Harry, can I ask you a question?
Hold on, Jeremiah. Can you just zip it for 5 seconds? Well, this guy's not even saying anything anyway. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Hey, I'm just curious. Do you think Elon Musk is a smart person?
Like, I go back and forth on this all the time because I think that like he has to have some intelligence to make the innovations that he has with like space travel and like Tesla and things like that. And like, I don't take that away from him. But when it comes to politics, this guy is really unintelligent. Either, there's two options. Either he's really bad faith and he's knowingly spreading misinformation, which is, of course, incredibly evil. Or two, he can't differentiate factual information from misinformation, and he is just not somebody that can analyze politics at a higher level. So I think those are the two options.
Why do you think he bought Twitter?
Yeah, I think he wanted to control like public conversation, but also at the end of the day, he didn't even want to really buy Twitter. Like he kind of like tried to pull out of the deal, and then a Delaware court basically forced him to buy Twitter. So I mean, it's also just kind of like up in the air.
Pretty outspoken about why he bought Twitter, and that's because people were being censored.
Yeah, that's what he says. I mean, everybody has a guise of like, this is why I did this. But what's the real reason of why Trump, why Elon Musk bought Twitter?
Censored.
Spreading vaccine misinformation, COVID disinformation, which is well within their right to do as a private company.
Disinformation, though, they weren't.
It absolutely was misinformation.
You do Google. I mean, you do your research, right? So you're telling me...
Yeah, you can Google, yeah.
Yeah. So the CIA, FBI was paying Twitter to ban people for what?
They weren't paying people to ban anybody. No, that's incorrect. That's incorrect. Nope. This is a common practice of the FBI. The FBI was reimbursing Twitter for operating costs. This happens all of the time. Yep.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, because you know what? Twitter talking to the FBI and working with the FBI or getting reports from the FBI loses them money. They sacrifice operating costs to act with and have in contact with the FBI. So the FBI reimburses Twitter and other private companies when they do something like this. By the way, if you have any knowledge of the federal government's budget and the FBI, you know that this is not the first time that this has taken place. And also, this happened under the Trump administration.
Don't you think it's a little funny that it's all left leaning? Like I'm all about free speech and everything, but both sides.
You don't have a right to free speech on social media.
Then what's America about? What are we talking about?
Oh my God! This is a misunderstanding of the Constitution as well. The First Amendment protects you from the government silencing your speech or unfairly infringing on your right to free speech. The First Amendment does not block Twitter from taking you off of their platform if they so choose. If Twitter wants to be a strictly left or right platform, no matter how much that sucks for the people affected, they are within their right to do that. They can ban all the Republicans that they choose.
They should just come out there and say that.
Well, you can have a recommendation as to how they should run their company. You can say, I think they should do this, that, or this or that. But it doesn't change the facts that they are well within their right to do that. And the FBI was also reaching out to these people, to Twitter, because a lot of social media companies, historically, we have large evidence of this, have been manipulated by foreign actors to influence elections. I mean, Facebook and Twitter was influenced greatly by Russian bot farms in 2016 to prop up Donald Trump.
Oh, my God.
Be spread, then why can't COVID be spread?
Because COVID is more infectious.
How?
The particle sizes of the flu and COVID are different.
That's how flu is spread too.
Yeah, the flu, so yes, both are spread through human to human contact, but COVID is far more infectious. So hold on, it takes less of a contact with COVID and a COVID positive person to get COVID than it does when it comes to a flu patient. If you come in contact with somebody with the flu, you're less likely to get the flu than you are to get COVID from somebody who has COVID.
And COVID just like went crazy.
What? I mean, you're laughing at your own ignorance. I also think it's funny, but I also think it's dangerous that you're walking around here being like, oh, the COVID this, COVID that. Just read.
Oh, dude, I do read.
You do not. I guarantee.
Harry, did you get the analytical as you and all this shit, but I don't buy in all the bullshit. And for you to say that it's okay for Twitter to censor people because they're left leaning.
Wait, I never gave. You're so disingenuous. I never gave an opinion as to whether Twitter should or shouldn't be censoring people.
Yeah, you said that. You said
no,
I didn't.
No, I didn't. I said that Twitter is within their right as a private company to regulate. If Twitter wants to ban people, they are absolutely within their right to do it. Now, do I think that conservatives? Hold on, Hannah. Thanks for the 10 gifted subs. I appreciate you.
Don't think that's
now,
wrong?
Just listen for 5 seconds.
That's wrong.
That's
no,
the
they
law.
own the company, Jeremiah.
That's the law.
America. It's about free speech. It's about being free.
You do not have the right to free speech on social media. You don't understand how the Constitution works. Just like a private business can refuse you service if you're not wearing shoes or shirt, they can refuse you business if you're violating their terms of service.
Free speech. And when you're on a platform that is supposed to like connect everybody and bring everything instant, like news and information, and then
he has a point though. It's just a Constitution
and
doesn't. It wasn't aware the internet
shadow bans people and bans people.
Thank you for
like
6 subscribers. Wait, buddy. Do you think that a private business should be able to refuse your service if you're not wearing shoes or a shirt? You see the signs: no shoes, no shirt, no service. You think that's okay?
Wait, do you think no blacks is okay?
Yeah, you be all right now, bro. Just be quiet for now. Just I'm gonna mute you after that.
Man? I have black people in my family.
Just shut the hell up. Just shut the hell up. Listen to what I'm asking you. Wow, that took a turn. When a business has a sign saying no shoes, no shirt, no service, do you think that that's wrong? That a business shouldn't be able to do that?
No, because I think they're advertising it up front. Now, if Twitter was like advertising that they're a left liberal leaning company and that we're going to shadow ban people that are right leaning, then I think that would be okay too.
So,
but they did not do that.
Okay, so first of all, there's no law of like advertising. There's no law of advertising.
As a platform for information.
There's no law of advertising saying that if you don't advertise the X, Y, and Z that you can't ban people. That's not within the law. Now, also, again, Twitter has a terms of service. Hey, listen up, buddy. Stop going on a rage-filled rant. Twitter has a terms of service that you agree to when you sign up. That's them saying, if you violate our terms of service, we hold the right to ban you from this platform and remove your account.
Harry,
so that's the advertisement that you're talking about. Just because you didn't read the terms of service, which many people didn't, doesn't mean that you can just complain about getting banned on a social media platform.
I 100% get it. Harry, you are the type of guy that would read the fine print, but like 90% of Americans don't read the fine print. They just join
I understand you don't read the fine print, but then I'm not saying I read the fine print when I sign up for Twitter, but I'm saying that if you get banned for violating the terms of service, you then can't turn around and cry because you didn't read the terms of service, and you can't then turn around and cry because you don't know the law.
Dude,
the law does not prohibit private companies from operating the businesses that they run as they'd like.
They fucking banned Donald Trump off Twitter,
which is their right to do.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. He was the president.
You can think it's ridiculous. You can think it's ridiculous. Just like you can think that McDonald's selling a burger for a certain price is ridiculous. You do not have a right, a constitutional legal right to use their services.
I can tell you this. You're going to have more freedoms now than you would have when it went the other way, and we could agree to disagree.
What freedoms is Donald Trump going to give to you?
We were literally looking, dude, we were going in the wrong direction.
In what way? In terms of freedoms?
Because we were running the country on emotions and not a logical level.
Please elaborate.
Well, so you think that my 12-year-old daughter should be able to make a decision to get to become a male, and you think that behind my back, the teachers and the school organizations and everything should promote that and agree with that. And then if you're first of all, this is again, I can't believe I keep having this conversation with people. It's so funny how much you think about this topic. But if somebody's transgender, it's almost like somebody being straight or gay. You know from a very young age what you are, right?
everybody knew when you're like 9 or 8 or 10 who you're attracted to,
Look,
right?
all
And when
I'm
you're at that
saying-
age, just in a similar way, you know if you're trans or not. So if you're like 12 years old and
No,
you
you
think you're
don't.
trans,
No, you don't.
there's a good chance that that child will then who will eventually be an adult, is trans. So
No,
if your
you don't
daughter's
know
saying, you know what,
nothing about
I don't feel
I
comfortable
think
in
it
my
should be
own
a
body, and they
logical
are exhibiting
conversation between-
can you be quiet, please? They're exhibiting the common associations with someone who's trans. Then there's a good chance that they're trans. So if your daughter wants to do whatever makes them happy and start that process in a way that's scientifically based, I don't have a problem with that. And
Why is
also,
that in the
please spare me the whole
educational
teachers
system?
promoting this stuff. There's no law saying, there's nothing going on where the teachers behind your back as a parent are secretly like gathering in a room and lighting candles and saying, well, we love this stuff, we're promoting it to all the kids.
Harry, do you think there's trans counselors?
I don't even know what that is. To be honest, what are you talking
trans
about?
people that are counselors for the youth, like in middle school and
Sure,
high
maybe.
school.
I don't know. Sure.
So do you think they influence the youth?
I think that they can provide valuable insight to young people.
Jesus.
Because again, like,
why are we
it's just like
having
you
a
guys
conversation
just don't
with
understand what it means to be. You just don't understand what it means to be trans, right? Like
Well, we
if
just know that
a
kids have a different mind.
if an LGBTQ plus student who's gay consults an older adult who's gay, that's not the older adult influencing them. That's somebody that they can relate to and like learn from. Just like a young person
You
who,
just said
again,
learn.
knows that they're trans from a young age, consulting someone older who is trans, who probably can provide valuable insight to them, that makes sense to me.
That's crazy. I have 4
What
kids.
insight are they going to provide?
I have 4
What,
kids.
what it's
and-
like to be
and
trans,
they're
how
all
it can
over
be
the
difficult in
place.
society, how they can, best go about the process, whatever it might be.
Do you have kids, bro?
No, I don't have kids. I'm 22. God, I don't want kids at
Did,
22.
did you have the same Did you have the same mindset you had when you were 12 as you do now?
No, but I knew that I was straight when I was 12. That hasn't changed.
Did
Did you know
want
you
to-
were straight when you were 12?
I don't think I was thinking about
mean, I
it.
knew-
You guys all knew you were straight when you were 12.
I mean, I was
Did you
born
all
in
know that you were
82. I
men
wasn't,
at 12?
like,
Did you all
like-
you all knew that you were men? That you
It
felt
wasn't a
comfortable in your
fucking
body?
Thing, like the
Yeah, but
pressure
gender
to be
dysphoria
one
is a
thing or the
dysphoria.
other.
Yeah. Gender dysphoria is also not in all trans people. And gender dysphoria is also not recognized as a mental illness from the DSM-5.
Wait,
Why
what do you
is
mean
this
it's
a-
not in all trans people?
Not all transgender people have gender dysphoria.
There's a higher suicide rate in transgender now than there has ever been in ever.
Yes,
Why
a
is-
lot of
that
that is
makes-
societal
that makes no sense.
reaction.
Is that because Trump supporters or what?
Yeah, actually, yes. The
Oh,
fact that a
yeah.
lot of people in society are very openly anti-trans and believe that these people just don't exist, and we have legislators focusing on what bathrooms people can go in as opposed to just making people's lives better.
And that makes
Yes,
people
literally,
kill
that
themselves.
contributes
Way
to
worse
people.
50 years
That contributes to imagine all the legislators in the world, right? All the legislators or legislators of one party and families out there and local politicians and local legislators are all saying that people with the name Tommy are bad. And that people who are Tommy are mentally ill and they're delusional, and I wouldn't want people
That's
named Tommy in the
racist.
bathroom with my child. I wouldn't want a person named
But
Tommy
there's
anywhere near
truth
my
behind
family.
it. There's
That
truth
could
behind
probably
it.
have some pretty negative societal consequences on people named Tommy. Similarly,
There's
with trans
truth behind
people,
it, though.
hold on. Similarly with trans people who already go through a lot, targeting them, making them the butt of the joke, putting all of America's problems on them and other minority groups,
Where is
probably has
this-
a pretty bad impact on those people,
Where
leading
is
to
this
higher
going?
suicide rates.
Where is this going
Harry,
on?
what happened to all the people that were in the mental facilities that were shut down in like the 80s and 90s? Like all
What are you
the
talking about?
mental institutional wards.
He don't know about that because
Yeah, I don't know what you're
I-
talking
he's
about.
young.
Mental
I know
institutional
he's-
war that were shut down in the 80s.
Yeah, there used to be research.
There used to be a bunch of psych wards where they would lock them up in straitjackets.
No,
You know that?
that's a little excessive.
I'm sorry.
Well,
are you
well-
arguing that we should lock trans people up? Are you kidding me?
No, I hope
That's
he's not
that's
saying
what
that.
it used to
the
be. I'm
fuck?
saying that's what it used
See,
to be.
and then y'all turn around and you wonder why there's such a high unaliving rate among trans people. We have somebody up here being like, yeah, these people would have been locked in insane asylums in the 80s.
They were.
Do you guys not hear yourself?
No,
That's the truth.
Oh
That's
my
the
god.
truth.
Hey buddy, there have been trans people throughout
That's history.
history. What the hell are you talking about? What the fuck? Oh my god. Y'all wonder. Why do trans
history,
people
like,
feel that,
make you
they're not
feel bad?
accepted? Y'all hear yourself, man.
That's not.
What do you mean? They're the most accepted they've ever been. There's gay pride parades for a month straight.
Dude. Yeah. Yeah, you can have a month. There's a difference between having like a gay pride month, for example, and actually feeling accepted. Feeling actually accepted in your community is different than just saying, "Oh, there's a parade that celebrates people like me and people like me's history."
How would they be accepted? What needs to
think
happen?
about it this way, right? We have Thanksgiving's coming up tomorrow. If you have somebody that's trans in the family and they're, maybe disagree with their family about LGBTQ plus issues. Their family is very traditional. They don't accept people that are trans. They think it's crazy. Oh my God, bro. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to finish this because you just got flagged. I have to remove you. But if they go to their family tomorrow and all of their family is calling them crazy, mentally delusional and things like that, of course, that's going to affect the mental health of that person. If your own family doesn't accept you because they're such conservative lunatics like Tommy who thinks that they should be put in straitjackets, then that's going to hurt a lot.
That's history.
That's not history. There's not a time in American history where trans people were put in straitjackets. Now get the hell out of the line.
You're removing me. All right. I never said they should be in straitjackets. You're just putting.
I'm sorry. What were you insinuating by bringing up mental institutions in the 80s?
I said that's what happened. I said that's where they were 50 years ago.
That's not where that is just not true.
Then where were trans people? Where were they?
In society. In society. Yeah. Do you just think that they didn't exist or what?
Okay. Yeah, they some were hiding. And what about the ones that came out? What happened to them? Tell me.
I can't tell you the story of every single trans person that came out in the 80s.
Well, they got put in mental wards, dude.
They did not get put in. This is just what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about?
Fucking history, bro.
You're not talking history. You're talking delusion.
So what happened? You didn't give me any answer. You said
they just lived in society. Just inform me. What's the mechanism for somebody to be put in an insane asylum? They just say, "Oh, I'm trans," and they get put in an insane asylum. What are you talking about? This conversation's over, buddy. There's no engaging with somebody like you. Get the hell out of the live. Do me a favor. Yeah, the live also got flagged, by the way, because we had people suggesting that people should be put in a goddamn straitjacket. So I have to restart the live. God, these people are goddamn crazy, man. What the hell, dude? I mean, what the fuck? Listen, I'm going to restart the live, but before I do so, let me thank some people. Or should I do it after? What do you guys think? Before or after? Thank people on Venmo? What do you guys think? After. I think majority of people are saying after. All right, listen, I'll do after. I'm going to restart the live. Just come back in a second. If you're in the box or you're down in the chat and you want to come up debate, if you're first up, we'll get you up here immediately. I'm just going to literally restart the live because it got flagged, whatever. All right, 1 second, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. 1 second. All right, let's put in this guy. See what he has to say. Again, if you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. Make sure to double tap this screen. Boost those likes. You guys are killing it on the likes right now. We're already at 66,000, which is remarkable. Hello?
Hey, Harry. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm okay, brother. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
And likewise to yours. I hope it goes well for you, man.
Yeah, you too, brother. I just got to, I think we should have a conversation first of, what do we have in common as Americans?
Well, we have a lot. I'm sure you and I both, want the country to do well. I'm sure we both care about the country, want people to be better off. I think we have some agreements there. And I think there's policy we probably agree on. I'm sure you agree with Biden's policy of expanding healthcare to veterans with the PACT Act or investing in infrastructure. And I would agree with Trump's Operation Warp Speed, that the rapid development of the vaccine and the First Step Back and things like that.
Good,
sure.
Good. No, it's good to hear that you're humble enough to admit that. I love the fact that Biden got a peace deal with Lebanon and Israel. I thought that was amazing. Yeah, I didn't vote. I didn't vote for Biden in the last two elections, but that's awesome. I love to see the president succeed and do good because when I
agree.
You know what I mean? When the president does good, it's good for all Americans.
Yes, exactly. Well, I think that's the mentality we have to have, which is unfortunate because, and I'm not saying this toward you, but a lot of Republicans, I think in recent years have really been rooting against Biden. Whereas I think that Democrats I've spoken to are far more open to being like, yeah, we lost, but we still want the president to do well. It's not about like liking Trump. It's about liking the office of the presidency and
I like America to succeed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
right.
I want our people to be safe. I want our country. I want the world to be safe. I'm a father. I want my son to grow up in a country where he's safe. And, me and you may disagree on a lot of things, but we should be able to have a civil dialogue.
Yeah. No, I
especially
totally
with
agree.
holidays like coming up tomorrow. Like, if anything, what these holidays say is that we're all Americans. And we are, brother.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day,
I'm
if some other country came to this country trying to invade us, I'd fight next to you. I hope you'd fight next to me to protect this land.
Of course.
We're not going to look at the Republicans or Democrats at that point.
Yeah.
But
no, I agree.
unfortunately,
I agree with the unit, but just the problem is like I agree with folks on the other side of the aisle who are Republicans and vote for Donald Trump who say that we want unity. I'm totally there with you, but the problem is that you voted for somebody who's very divisive. Like Trump called the other side vermin. He said that Democrats like Adam Schiff and just Democrats generally are the enemy. He has suggested that like Jewish Americans who vote for Democrats need to get their heads checked. Like that's, of course, very divisive language. So I agree vehemently with your sentiment of we're all Americans at the end of the day. We should all root for each other and root for success. We can disagree about how we get there. But then I don't understand why then Trump would be the person that's voted for by people who say that. That's all.
I think that the party I don't think Biden did. I think the party that he represented went too far left for many Americans. And even if it wasn't a lot of Democrats that went too far left, it was enough that it was sensationalized. And it was enough that people in America were like, this is too much for me. I think that's honestly what happened. The Democratic Party kind of left its roots because if you look at like JFK, he would be a Republican today by Democratic standards. He would.
I think that's up for debate. I mean,
and in my opinion, JFK is one of the greatest presidents to ever live. So it's just, I think the party shifted, and it's not the whole party, but enough of the party that was honestly sabotaged the Democratic Party.
I just don't think that's in line with fact at all. Like, I think that the Republicans...
Listen, I understand where you're coming from because I don't think you're one of that. Like
no, well, of course not. Of course not.
I think you're more of a central, moderate Democrat, which I would be. Honestly, I would be. But I went Republican the last couple elections because it's just the Democratic Party kind of left that moderate conservatism where it's like working people. Let's make money for the working people. They still wanted a strong military. It's like, it just all shifted.
But here's the thing.
The whole identity politics.
I think that the Republicans have done a good job at labeling the Democrats as extremists or farther left. But in reality, it's the inverse. The Democrats are the moderates. And you can look at Biden's record as president and the majority of the Democratic Party voted with him on stuff like this.
He always has been a moderate. That's why he beat Trump in 2020.
Well, I agree that Biden has always been a moderate, but he's also legislated in a somewhat progressive way in sometimes, but also in a moderate way. Because just hear me out for a second. 4 out of the 7 pieces of major policy that Biden has passed has been with Republican support. These have been things like infrastructure, as I mentioned, expanding veterans health care, the CHIPS and Science Act, and manufacturing 100%. Here in the United States.
I agree with you, everything you're saying.
100%. These are bipartisan.
I think Biden, unfortunately, came around at the wrong time.
Thanks, Rex.
Unfortunately.
And maybe so, I don't know. But point is that Biden governed with the other side, and the majority of the major policy he passed, Republicans voted for. And consistently, the Democrats, like even look at the campaign, Kamala Harris was talking about wanting to secure the border, but doing it in a humane way. She was talking about appointing a Republican in her cabinet.
Can I ask you a question?
And having a group of advisors that disagreed with her.
Can I ask you a question, honestly?
So my point to you is that this idea that the Democrats have gone too far left is just not in line with fact. And on the contrary, it's the Republicans who have gone too far right because they're endorsing somebody who engaged in insurrection and broke the law just because he happens to have an R next to his name.
Okay. A lot of what you're saying until the whole insurrection, because if January 6th was an insurrection, it'd be the only unarmed insurrection ever happened in history.
It's not true. There were armed people.
Come on now. There was nobody
there have been people who've been convicted of having a gun.
It was a riot.
Rounds.
It was a riot. I give you that. It was a riot. I don't support it. But it was not an insurrection in the sense that, like, what happened to, what's his name in Russia? That was an insurrection. What's his name? Putin shot his plane down.
You
know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That was an insurrection. That man was driving tanks and military personnel into Moscow. Like that's an insurrection. It was a riot, and those people deserve to get whatever prison time they get. But I don't agree with anything they did, but it wasn't there
were people who were armed at January 6th. There were people who brought guns to the Capitol and have been charged with having guns on Capitol grounds. And also, these people were carrying around like riot shields and poles. I would call that armed.
It does matter because it's a riot. Because DC has gone up in flames. It went up in flames with the BLM movement in 2021. It went up in flames, or 2019, I think, not 2021. Like they were burning. And it did it again with Hamas or H group at the Capitol a couple months ago.
And I don't support burning flag.
I know you would. I'm not saying you support that. I'm not saying you support that. But what I'm trying to say is, here are some statistics. Let me read them off to you.
Okay.
Of what Trump did from 2020. Okay, he went up 5% with unmarried women. He went up 6% between 18 to 29-year-olds. He went up 7% with blacks. With non-white college graduates, he went up 9%. With Asians, he went up 11%. People in poverty and below, he went up 12%. With Latinos, he went up 17%.
Yep.
Which to me, that's like insane considering what everyone's been preaching about the deportation. Latino men, he went up 22%. So Trump took, just going off those numbers that we know now from the election, he took every demographic that would have won Democrats the election.
Trump did very much so improve on his margins from 2020. There's no denying that. I'm not.
And 2016. I mean, he won the popular vote.
Yep. In 2016.
So that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's that I don't think it's like your ideology of the Democratic Party, because I don't think you're an extremist. I think you have you're a young man. You have a great future ahead of you. You have a lot of pull in what you tell people. So my only point is to come out to you and just be like, see it a little more in the middle, man. Kind of, instead of saying like, prove me wrong, Trump is terrible, maybe say, prove me wrong. Why did you vote for Trump?
I mean, I do think Trump is terrible, though.
You could think that, but like, that's okay for you to think that. Like, I thought Kamala was terrible, but like, let's find a middle ground, because is she really terrible? Like, if I met her somewhere, would I really think that? No. If you met Trump and like, I don't know, like, will we think that? Maybe he is an asshole. I don't know. Maybe he is.
No, come on. We know this. We know this about Trump.
I make it up to support my family. I'll never be in his billionaires club. I get that. But at the same time, I just want our country to be safe. And I don't want to go to a point where we lose focus on where we're going, man.
But here's the and I totally get that. But the frustrating thing is like perception is not always reality. So the perception of many, as you just listed all these different groups that swung toward Trump, the perception of many is that Trump's going to help them. I would argue that is not reality, that Donald Trump doesn't actually have any policy to support them. His first term doesn't have a record of him supporting these groups of people. Instead, he's just focused on vengeance right now. I don't mean to interrupt you,
but he did have the lowest, at that time, he did have the lowest unemployment of Latinos and blacks.
Biden had lower.
I said at that time, though.
I know at that time, but if the point is that, this person had lower unemployment.
So you can't blame, though, for blacks and Latinos experiencing that for the first time, which I am part of that group. You can't blame us for saying, you know what, life was really good under him. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I'm not. I will never tell people that they're wrong to feel like, the economy was good under Donald Trump. But all I ask of people to ask themselves is, why was it good under Donald Trump? The why is what I find often people don't ask themselves. They just assume that the economy was good because Trump was in there and he takes credit for it.
Of course,
in reality, he inherited a good economy from Obama and took credit.
There's a lot of factors that go into that.
Exactly. So that's the point. Trump ran on a lie that he was good for the economy, that he's going to make people's lives better. He's going to do X, Y, and Z. That's not true.
Well, would you agree with me then that the Russian collusion they pushed on him for 4 years was a lie?
I would say that there's not evidence that Donald Trump colluded with Putin to win the election.
It was a lie, brother, right? It was a lie.
No, I think
doesn't mean your party's wrong. Doesn't mean you're wrong.
No. But
I
think
tell them to do it.
They were all they wanted was an investigation, and that investigation uncovered a lot of very concerning contacts between Trump and the Russian officials,
such as the fact that Russian officials.
Wait, hold on. Russian officials came to Trump Tower, met with Trump Jr., his campaign manager, and others to give them dirt on Hillary Clinton. There were Russian officials in the Trump Tower meeting with a presidential candidate for the United States of America. That in itself is concerning. They shared private polling with Russian officials. The Trump campaign gave them internal polling, which, by the way, they don't give this internal polling to the people of the United States, to give them an update on the election. And of course, we know that there was a top-down operation from the Kremlin authorized by Putin to try to influence the election in favor of Donald Trump. So did Trump go to Putin on the phone and say, hey, help me win the election? No.
Everything you just said.
There was Russia interfering in that election. Yes, absolutely.
Of course it was interfering on social media, and it was interfering on, like, I don't know, TikTok wasn't that big back then, but interfering on every social media platform it could back then. I'm not disagreeing with that, but that's always happened. Russia's always interfered with elections since the Soviet Union. So
not at that level.
At the end of the day, there was no proof that Trump colluded with Russia, and we were fed that. And that's why CNN, MSNBC are going down the shitter right now.
I'm with you that there was not evidence. There wasn't strong evidence that Donald Trump and the campaign colluded with Russia. Certainly not enough to bring any charges against Trump, right?
Brother, as a fellow American, don't you think it's wrong how much they preached it to us?
No, because the investigation still uncovered concerning connections between the Trump campaign and Russian officials. Mike Flynn, president. Paul Manafort, all these different people were convicted for their role in what happened. Mike Flynn lied to the FBI about his contacts with the Russians. I mean, come on, why on earth would a presidential candidate and his campaign be meeting with Russian officials in their building to get dirt on an opponent? That, to me, not alleging collusion, obviously, but that shouldn't happen. And we should vote for people who want that to happen.
You are alleging collusion by your statements. You are.
That's no, collusion is I'm using the, like,
to
a legal
win the
term,
election is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, well, then if you think that that's collusion, if you're saying that what I'm saying is collusion, then you have to say that there is. The real reason why he won the election is because James Comey came out with the emails. What was that?
James Comey came out with the whole email thing. That's why.
That's why she lost?
Yes. It was like a week
before. No, I totally agree that James Comey doing that had a huge role.
So it's like,
I totally agree that James Comey doing that had a huge, but just to be clear, I would also argue that these bot farms on social media played a huge role as well.
I don't believe that, because I think Americans are smarter than that. And I think you got to see that. I think Americans are way, like, the average American family, the average American person is way smarter than going by, oh, Trump bad, Hillary good, oh, Trump bad.
I totally
Kamala
agree.
Good. Like,
I agree that your average American. I agree that your average American is very smart, but what I would also say, your average American doesn't pay attention to politics as much as maybe someone like you or me or people watching. So when the FBI
I don't agree
director,
with you on that. I think when you're a family,
yes,
kids, you're trying to survive.
100%.
I think they're paying way more attention. And I think that's what JFK saw. All the great Democrats of the past, they saw that. They didn't insult voter intelligence. They didn't say you're not smart.
It's not insulting voter intelligence. It's just recognizing that a lot of people don't study politics, just like they don't study other things, right? And people are busy. They have lives. They are trying to take care of their families. And they don't study it in depth. So what I think happened in 2016 is that Americans who didn't study politics see the FBI director saying, oh, we're investigating Hillary Clinton's emails, and Russian bot farms at the same time are spreading thousands of pieces of misinformation every single day about this investigation, saying, oh, the FBI found this, and they're generating fake websites with fake links, with fake quotes. Yeah, I think it's pretty easy for somebody who doesn't pay attention to politics all that much to believe that misinformation and vote accordingly.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't think it happens in the amount to win in a presidential election.
Well, that election was decided by tens of thousands of votes in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. So only tens of thousands of people in those states.
Yeah, it's the same as the last two elections.
100%. So it's only like all Russia and foreign actors need to do is influence tens of thousands of people in these swing states, and then they get somebody like Donald Trump who's very light on Putin.
I don't think he is, because Putin didn't
He's very light on China, very light on Putin.
Putin didn't expand any of his wars under Trump.
No, he just continued to hold the land that he held illegally.
We can disagree on that. That's okay.
Putin, he didn't start a new war, didn't invade a new country for a variety of reasons.
I didn't say he didn't start a new war. I said he didn't expand his
whatever you'd like to label
it matters. It matters, Harry, because over 1 million casualties and deaths have happened since Biden took office. And I don't blame Biden for that. I blame his administration and those that are in charge of the Pentagon.
Oh, come on. No, there's no reason to put, man. This is always like a crazy talking point to me that like Biden or his administration or somebody in that administration.
I don't blame.
Biden, whatever you'd like to label as. Somebody in the administration has responsibility for Russia invading Ukraine. It's like, number one, no, there's a variety of reasons why Russia invaded when they did. But number two, the blame solely and is solely on Putin. That's
Russia already invaded Ukraine under Obama.
Yes, they did.
So, like, the war started in 2014, I think.
Correct. And Donald Trump, during his administration, after claiming he's all big and bad and Putin respects him, did nothing to get Crimea and the Donbass back to Ukraine.
Let me ask you a question right there. What could he have done?
Oh, I'm not saying that would be an easy feat. I'm not saying that it's even possible to do. But what Donald Trump
I just want to ask you,
JW,
what
thanks for the
could he have done? What could he have done?
I'm not saying it's an easy feat. I'm not saying that he could have done something. But that's why Donald Trump framing himself as this big, bad leader that everybody is scared of and the Democrats are weak is just a disingenuous, bad faith framing of politics.
I don't think he's doing that. I don't. I think you're generalizing something that's way more complicated.
Oh, come on. You don't think that Donald Trump tries to frame himself as a strong man?
I don't think he's doing that. I think his policy is stronger than what Biden's was.
His policy, his foreign policy stronger?
Well, he did. He openly came. We know this now. He told Putin, if you go into Ukraine, I'm going to bomb Moscow. Like that came out.
First of all, that's what he said he told Putin. Whether he actually did or didn't is up for the air. But also, just remember, like, Trump's attitude to Putin, right? He said that he trusts Putin more than our own intelligence community. And in 2017, when Russian officials were in the Oval Office, he revealed classified information to them.
Okay, well, let me ask you something. Then we're going to talk about our own. This is where it gets like crazy. We're never going to come to an agreement, but this is a respectful debate.
Hold on. Time out. We can come to an agreement on some of this stuff. You can agree that Trump revealing classified information to Russian officials in the Oval Office in 2017 is objectively bad, and while he has the right as president to do it.
One, I'm going to ask you this. I'll answer that with this question. What was the classified information?
We don't know.
Okay, we don't know. So two, you're talking about trusting our intelligence community, the same intelligence community that got us into Iraq over mass weapons of destruction. Okay, that's the same intelligence community, which we found out wasn't true.
Well, hold on now. This was a decision. Elise, thanks for the subscription. Listen, a lot of the intelligence community was directed by Bush and Cheney to find evidence. Right?
You don't think those same people were still in positions?
A lot of these people weren't. And also, that was like 20 years ago at this point, or 15, I should say 15 years ago, or 17, 18, whatever years ago at this point, when Trump was in Helsinki, I believe it was.
Wait, are you talking about like when Bush and the Cheney thing?
Yeah. I'm saying like that when they lied, when they said that there was WMDs in the Middle East, that was 15 years ago at the time.
World forever.
And also, our intelligence is highly sophisticated. It's even better than it was in the early 2000s. So for Trump to turn around and doubt the intelligence that said that Russia interfered in the election and said that he trusts Putin more, that's being soft on Russia.
I don't believe that.
What?
Okay. Let me make my point.
Yes.
Russia has always interfered in our elections since the end of World War II.
Right? Wait, but that doesn't. I mean, I actually don't know if that's the case.
Let me ask you a question now. Do you think America's interfered with Russia's elections?
Maybe. I don't know.
Of course we have.
Maybe not. I don't know.
We funded the Taliban to fight them. You know who we funded? Osama bin Laden.
We've done stuff like that. We've done stuff like that before. But if you're talking about like modern history, then I don't think we've influenced like the last couple of Russian elections.
We've tried.
Or at least I don't see evidence to say so. Maybe I'm not. By the way, I'm not making a conclusion one way or another. I'm just saying I haven't seen it.
Medvedev? Do you remember that? There's like he didn't know his mic was off or on. Obama was like, "Tell Putin I'll have more power once I'm reelected."
I also haven't heard that clip. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, he was talking to Medvedev, who was the president at the time before Obama was reelected. He said, "Tell Putin I'll have more power once I'm reelected." Yeah, I don't have enough power right now.
But what does that have to do with what we're talking about?
That it's always been this game, this cat and mouse game that they got you involved in. Like you see things as black and white, and it's not.
I don't think politics is black and white whatsoever. But I think that it's pretty black and white when an American president is saying that they trust the Russian president over our own intelligence community. That's black and white. There's a right and there's a wrong. When did he say, I trust
Putin more than my intelligence?
What was that?
What? Can you find me a clip where he says, I trust Putin more than my intelligence?
Trump says he trusts more. Let's see. I can give you a quote. I mean, if you want the clip, I can try to find it.
He said that.
Yeah. I can give you the quote. I think it's in this article. Yeah, okay, I mean, I have the quote. If you really want the clip, I can find it, but I have the quote.
Just say the quote. I'll take your word for it.
Sure. And this is a CBS article. So, Donald Trump said in 2018 in Helsinki, quote, all I can do is ask the question. My people came to me. Dan Coates came to me and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be.
Okay. So where did he say there, I trust Putin more than my intelligence? Because that's what you said.
His intelligence, listen to the quote again. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be. His intelligence community is telling him it's Russia.
Bro,
Russia interfered in the 2016 election. Putin is telling him that it's not Russia.
You tell me,
and he's saying, I don't see any reason why it would be. You know what the reason why it would be? The intelligence community is telling you that it is.
Harry, you have 3,000 people watching right now. What did you tell me leading up to that? You said that Trump said, I trust Putin over my intelligence. That's what you said. How do you take
did you not just hear the quote?
How do you not just hear the quote? How do you take that statement?
Did you not just hear the quote where he's saying, my intelligence community, they said to me they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia.
Okay.
I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be.
For what? The interference, right?
Yes.
Which so we Putin found
is telling
out
him,
what?
Putin
what
is telling him that it's not Russia. Hold on. Just think about this.
Okay,
listen.
You just answered it. You just answered it.
Listen. Donald Trump is being told by his intelligence community that it's Russia, right? Putin is telling him that it's not Russia. And his conclusion is, I don't see why it would be. Whose side is he taking there?
You just answered it. So Trump said, I don't see why Russia colluded. And
I don't see why it would be Russia that interfered in the election.
Oh, which they didn't. We found that out.
They did interfere in the election.
Not with his campaign.
That's not what they're talking about. They're not just talking about collusion. They're just talking about interference in the election.
That's what he's talking about.
No, he's not.
Why would he not? He's running for president. Why would he not be talking about his campaign, bro?
This was in 2018. He was already president.
And they were trying to impeach him.
This was the impeachment
for Russian collusion, which we found out wasn't true.
He never had an impeachment trial for Russian collusion. Now you're just mixing up history. That was the whole point
of the first impeachment.
No, the entire point of the first impeachment was the fact that he called up Zelensky of Ukraine and told him to dig up dirt on Joe Biden in exchange for withholding military aid.
Which they were saying was because of Russia.
No, they were not.
The whole
no. I'm sorry.
Did they not say Trump was always supported by Russia for the first 4 years of his presidency?
You're just mixing up your history now. There was no impeachment trial for Russian collusion. There was not an attempt at that. There was a Mueller investigation that was done by special counsel Robert Mueller. That was not an impeachment trial.
What were they trying to do to him, bro? What were they trying to do to him over Russia?
They were investigating Russian ties or Russian collusion maybe collusion, whatever word you want to use. Russian interference in the 2016 election. That's what the investigation by special counsel Mueller was on.
Corrupt under Russia. They're corrupt.
What?
And they impeached him for that.
They impeached him for calling up Zelensky, of which there's a phone transcript saying, I need you to dig up dirt on Joe Biden.
That's not what he said.
I'm summarizing. I don't have the quote verbatim in front of me.
You can't just say that, though, bro. You're talking about very serious things.
You want to pull it up?
Just like you said that Trump said he trusts Putin over our intelligence. You paraphrase that, and that's not what it was, man.
That is literally what he said.
No, he's not.
Yes.
He's saying, I didn't collude with Russia.
Hold on. We're going to settle this, and then I'm going to pull up the Zelensky quote for you. Just listen very carefully to what Trump is saying here. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be. Okay. So he has the intelligence community telling him.
Hold up. Let me ask you this question.
No. Hold on. No.
Was there any
intelligence community telling Donald Trump that it's Russia that interfered in the 2016 election? Hold on. hold on. We have the intelligence community telling Donald Trump that it was Russia that interfered in the 2016 election. Then Putin, on the other hand, is right next to him in Helsinki telling him it was not us. Whose side is he taking there?
With his campaign.
What are you talking about with his campaign? The FBI and the intelligence community is just making the statement and the conclusion that it was Russia behind an interference effort.
Spying on his campaign under Obama.
Oh my God. There was no spying on his campaign. Brother.
What were they doing then? What were they doing?
Who was spying on his campaign?
Did Obama not tell him to listen to the campaign?
Did Obama tell him to listen? What does that even mean?
Did it not happen?
They
were spying on his campaign.
What do you mean when you say Obama told him to listen to the campaign?
Thought he was
what does
a
that
Russian
mean?
asset.
What does that wait? What does it mean when you say that Donald Trump told Trump to listen to the campaign? What?
I never said Donald Trump told Donald Trump to listen to the campaign.
Obama told Donald Trump to listen to the campaign. What does that mean?
Obama ordered the FBI to listen into Donald Trump's campaign.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not. Oh my God. Shall we look it up?
So Trump's campaign was not listened into by the FBI.
There was a phone call, I believe, between Mike Flynn and Russian officials that was listened to.
Why are they being listened to?
Because Mike Flynn lied about speaking to the Russians,
That,
and he was later indicted for lying to the FBI.
The FBI, the executive branch, the president.
Yeah, so the FBI was doing their job because Mike Flynn lied about connections with Russian officials. And when an incoming national security advisor is lying to the FBI about their connections with Russian officials and they're looking into Russian interference in the election, yeah.
There was no provable Russian interference with the Trump campaign in 2016.
Oh my God. So the FBI, when they came to Donald Trump, is not telling Trump to his face that, yeah, we think the FBI, that we actually think you colluded with Russia. What they were telling Trump is that Russia interfered in the election. We believe it was Russia behind this effort. Putin is telling Donald Trump, no, it was not, or it was not Russia. And
so
then Trump, with two sides of the coin, he's being told by the FBI it was this. Putin is saying it wasn't. Donald Trump decided to side with Putin.
Let's squash this right now. There's an easy way to squash this. How many Americans voted for Donald Trump in 2020 or 2016?
I don't know. It was like 65, I want to say. 63.
How many voted for him in 2020? 74.
74. A topic of conversation. But what was being asked of Donald Trump and what he was talking about had nothing to do with collusion. There's two topics here. Russian collusion, like Trump interfering with, colluding with Russia, which didn't happen, or just Russia interfering in the election. This didn't happen. This did.
I thank you for saying that didn't happen.
I know I didn't happen.
Good.
Didn't happen.
Because there's still a lot of Democrats, a.k.a. Hillary Clinton, that say it did happen.
No, Hillary Clinton does not say that Trump colluded.
She said he was an illegitimate president.
Well, she was talking about the fact that Russia did interfere in the election. If somebody was artificially inflated by a foreign country to win, then I think that's pretty frustrating. I actually don't know if she said illegitimate. Maybe she did. I'm not like, okay, I take your word for it. But if a person is boosted up by a foreign official or foreign countries to win, then I think that there is some justified anger to have there. But all I'm saying is that Donald Trump should not have said this. The words of the president matter, and the fact that he was given two options, and he even drew the contrast in his own sentence and said, "Well, I don't think there's any reason why it would be." That's just batshit crazy.
I would say I'm not trying to put any personal bluff into this. And I'm just talking to you. I don't care about your chat. I'm talking to you as if we were sitting down having a drink together, which I think we've had such a very, very good discussion personally.
I agree.
I don't agree with you on that. I do not trust our intelligence community, not the people in it. I don't, man. I think there's a warmongering part of our government that makes money off wars. I'm sorry. That's what I feel.
I think you should. I think you should trust our intelligence, man. There's a lot of people.
We've been at war every 10 years since World War II.
Well, right now we're actually not at war for the first time this century because of Joe Biden.
We are, Harry. We're in Syria.
No, we are not. We are not fighting an active war.
There's troops in Syria. They got blown up under Biden.
There are troops all around the world.
We got
there are
troops
in Japan.
all over in these countries we shouldn't be in.
Well, you can believe that we shouldn't be in them. But
we shouldn't be.
Are we at war in a country?
Why
are
we in Syria? Tell me why.
Tactical. It's geographical reasons.
Tell me, how? I don't know your exact age. How old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay. Well, you're old enough that if you had a son, I think you would understand sort of what that means. if you had a son, he was in Syria and he got blown up, and the government said, "Hey, it's tactical," you be okay with that?
Well, I would not be okay with any American, whether it's my son or not, getting blown up. But the reason why we have bases in like the Middle East is purely tactical, because we have allies like Israel in the Middle East. We have allies in Europe that are right there. We want a strategic position that's close to countries like Russia. That's why we have troops there that we can quickly mobilize if we need to. Right?
No, we went there because of the Syrian civil war. Because of ISIS.
No, I know why. What we went there for is not what I'm referencing. What I'm referencing, why we have these bases open right now, is partially, the same reason why we have bases in like Germany. So if we needed to, we can quickly mobilize because we have these huge oceans that separate us from Europe and Asia.
I get what you're coming from.
The United States, if we get attacked, we want to be right there.
We don't get blown up in Germany.
No, I'm not saying we get blown, but the point is that that's why we have these bases there, so that we can be ready at a moment's notice if need be. That if somebody attacked America on the homeland, or somebody attacked Americans in
and that's going to come from Syria. That's going to come from Iraq. That's going to come.
It can come from
why
anywhere.
Are we still
it
in
can come from
countries?
Anywhere. It can come from
why?
I'm telling you, that's why. You can disagree with that, but that's why.
It's because of the military-industrial complex. Because they make money off war.
It's not because of the military-industrial complex. There's people that make money off war, sure. But I would not argue that the reason we're still in Syria is because people want to make money. It's because we, the United States, want to be able to quickly deploy.
You said America. Okay, let me ask you a question. So you say America is not at war to make money. Who's in charge and hired by the Ukrainian government to rebuild Ukraine?
Who's in charge and hired by the Ukrainian government to rebuild Ukraine?
Yeah.
I don't know.
BlackRock.
What are you talking about, dude?
Look it up.
Why is BlackRock such a buzzword for so many people? Let me just look this up. I don't know what you're talking about.
Also own
BlackRock hired by Ukraine.
They also own all the privatized homes in this country, which is why rent's so high.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So BlackRock, which is a private fund, it's a private capital company, was signed an agreement with BlackRock Financial Market Advisory and providing support services to the Ukrainian Development Fund.
So why isn't Ukraine building up Ukraine?
The main goal of the fund's creation is to attract private and public capital for implementing large-scale business projects in Ukraine. So a company that deals with investments, that's what BlackRock does. They have a bunch of people's money and invest.
They control.
Has been signed with a country to incentivize investment in a country. That sounds pretty great to me.
No. Harry. Come on, you're smart, bro. Okay, now look up who owns the monopoly on homes in America.
Wait. Wait. You know what BlackRock does, right?
Build homes.
BlackRock's role is not, they don't build homes.
They fund it.
No, they don't even, that's not even their main thing of funding homes. They are like an investment company. They like have people's money and invest people's money.
Okay, so who's investing into BlackRock in Ukraine?
The money that BlackRock has is not their money. They have some money because they're a company and they make profit.
It's not their money. So who?
But it's other people's money.
The Ukrainian country, the country of Ukraine, is investing into what?
So what BlackRock is trying to do, from my understanding of what I just read, is incentivize investment in Ukraine from private individuals and private businesses.
While there's a war going on with Russia.
Well, Ukraine still needs to make money.
Brother.
That's like, they can't win a war without money.
You don't think that our biggest financial company that builds homes is in charge of rebuilding? So, the fact that they're hired by Ukraine, you don't find that a little bit odd?
Why the fuck would that be odd? A country that's in the midst of a war wants to incentivize business. So a country, hold on. A country that's at the midst of war, which has lost a lot of businesses because of the war taking place, is saying, "Hey, we want to incentivize business investment in Ukraine to make money and revitalize our economy." Why is that weird?
Because it's American. We're in charge of rebuilding their economy. So where does the money from Ukraine go? Into the American economy. The industrial war machine.
No, this is like private companies making these private companies can be American or not.
They're not privatized. They go under privatized to be able to do this shit.
Look. The main goal of the fund's creation is to attract private and public capital for implementing large-scale business projects in Ukraine.
During possible World War III.
We're not at World War III, and if they want to incentivize business investment in Ukraine, because, again, Ukraine needs to make money.
So America,
they had war, but the economy still needs to move.
America, not Ukraine, gets to incentivize businesses.
It's not America. It's not
Where's
America.
BlackRock located out of?
It doesn't matter where BlackRock's located out of. They're talking about investment from anybody. It's not just like, oh, only American companies can make private investment in Ukraine.
No, they're not talking about. Is China involved?
I'm sure that if some Chinese business people or companies want to make investments, they probably won't because they're allied with Russia.
So let me ask you something. As smart as you are, and you are smart, and you are educated, you don't see the fishiness in this, bro?
Here's the thing. I think you see fish. First of all, this is crazy. Second of all, I think you see fishiness because Republicans put like BlackRock as like this conspiratorial company that like rules the world.
They're only the reason why rent's so high in our country.
Well, I would agree that a lot of big companies like BlackRock do buy a lot of houses. And by the way, Democrats introduced a bill to stop that from happening. Republicans blocked that bill. It was in the House of Representatives. It was introduced by Democrats in 2023. Republicans
Trump ran against them. And so did J.D. Vance.
Trump, then maybe he should call up the Republicans and tell them to vote for the goddamn bill, just like he called them up and told them to vote against the immigration bill.
Bobby Kennedy has been calling these guys out for years.
I don't give a shit what Bobby Kennedy does.
I know you may not give a shit what he says, but he's been calling him out for years.
I don't care. I couldn't care less about what Bobby Kennedy does because that guy's a lunatic. Like he completely delegitimizes himself when he goes on some of his rants that he does. Now, aside from that, I do not think it's fishy that a very successful company is trying to get private business. Sorry, I got a phone call. I don't think it's fishy that a very successful company is trying to incentivize private business investment or public capital investment into Ukraine because one, they make money from doing that.
Where's that company from?
It's business again. It doesn't matter. The company could be from like England. This is just a good project.
Where's that company from?
The BlackRock is an American company.
Okay, how many houses? Who owns the most houses in America?
I don't know.
BlackRock.
Who owns the most houses?
Like as a monopoly, renting and building.
There's a couple groups actually.
I didn't say
Real
BlackRock
Estate,
was the
Carrington
only one.
Holiday Holding Company, the Alaskan Permanent Fund, Blackstone Group.
BlackRock.
No, Blackstone.
Okay, Blackstone. BlackRock's
It's not
in there.
BlackRock. It's not BlackRock.
Bro, listen. Do you not think there's okay, I'm gonna ask you this. Let's just start with this. Do you not think there's a military industrial complex in this country?
I mean, I think that there's there's people that make money from, military.
No, we make the most money from war.
There's people that make money from war. I totally agree.
Our country does.
I totally agree. Well, I mean, I think more so the country makes money from war and in wars that we're actually directly involved in, less so than like
we don't even know probably half the wars we're involved in. They just did an audit of the Pentagon a couple of years ago. They couldn't find like $60 billion.
Yeah, we fail our audits all the time, not because the money is missing, but because we don't have enough accountants to track it, and our accountants are old and aging and retiring.
You're admitting to what I'm saying.
Hold on. I want to quickly say this on this. When it comes to BlackRock, it's a private company who makes money. They're a very successful company, very successful. So it makes a lot of sense as to why this company is signing an agreement with Ukraine because number one, it benefits Ukraine to incentivize private business investment. Yes.
So you rather have Ukrainian money rebuild America and not Ukraine?
Wait, what? This is private money. This is not the United States government. So private individuals are welcome to invest in Ukraine if they want to. Private individuals in the United States are welcome to invest in Ukraine and like Ukrainian business and incentivizing Ukrainian business if they'd like.
Harry, the truth has nothing to do with the federal government. And you're there, and you know what? I'm excited for you to see it because you're going to be such a great voice for when you do.
For what?
For seeing the fucking scheme and fucking
there's no scheme. There's no scheme.
There's
no scheme.
The U.S. government has been in charge of.
It's so crazy how Republicans
since the last 50 years, man.
It's so crazy how Republicans like. Y'all
I'm not
how the Democrats are socialist. I'm not saying you specifically, but I'm saying like Donald Trump calls the Democrats communists and socialists. In reality, we're capitalists. And then when we're talking about capitalism here, which is private businesses investing in or being created in Ukraine and private business coming in, that's capitalism. You then cry about it and say, well, there's capitalism.
No,
and
I'm not crying about it. I'm just saying, do you not see how America has our government, not the people of America, not our military who will go and fight willingly for our country? the deep state, the government that has their fucking fingers in this war. You don't see it?
Oh my God. No, this is not a thing. This is not a thing. We are not supporting Ukraine because the deep state wants us to. We are supporting Ukraine because it's good for the United States. And again, BlackRock does not work with the federal government. They're not being directed by Joe Biden to go set up an agreement with Ukraine.
That you know of.
Do you have any evidence to suggest that that is taking place?
The fact that our biggest home buying and
it's
home
not
building
the big. I just looked it up.
Has to go to Ukraine.
I just looked it up.
Why can't Ukraine hire Ukrainians to rebuild their country?
I just looked it up. They're not the biggest buyer of homes. So number one. What's
the monopoly on them?
Number one, they're not the biggest buyer of homes. But two, I think we would want American business like being expanded outside of our borders. So wouldn't you be happy that it's an American business doing this as opposed to like a foreign company?
Expanded to war-torn Ukraine. It should be Ukrainians that build up their own country.
War-torn Ukraine still needs an economy to run. Obviously there's a demand in the market for the economy to run in Ukraine, and BlackRock happens to be fulfilling that market. That is good. That's capitalism.
No, they're conquering the world with their bullshit.
What is bullshit about trying to incentivize private business investment in Ukraine?
Why should American private business be hiring and taking land in Ukraine to build?
They're not taking land. Oh my God. There's nothing about taking land.
They're building on that land for money.
They themselves are not building. That's not the role of BlackRock in this deal. They themselves are not building in Ukraine. It says the main goal of the fund's creation is to attract private and public capital for implementing large-scale business projects in Ukraine. What BlackRock's job is to do is to incentivize businesses to come to Ukraine, which helps Ukraine's economy and keeps the country afloat.
Harry, you really think people want to go to Ukraine right now?
No, that's why BlackRock's been hired, because nobody wants to start a business in Ukraine. So BlackRock's job is to incentivize people to come to Ukraine.
Nobody's incentivized to go to Ukraine.
That's why BlackRock has been hired.
No, Harry. They're hired because we're getting our money back.
Oh my God, bro.
Harry, they're hired because the American government and the Ponzi scheme is getting its money back.
Dude, you have to realize that you're just being like conspiratorial
right now.
You're just being conspiratorial right now. You think that there's like this scheme and there's a Ponzi scheme, a monopoly at this or that. There's no broader conspiracy.
Harry, I think you have to. And when I was your age, I did too. That's why I went to Afghanistan. I believe they're bullshit. I think that you have too much faith in your government.
I trust good people in the government. Right? Joe Biden's a good person. His administration is full of good people. I've met people in his administration. I've met the man himself. He's fantastic. He's a good guy. And so when you're asking me about like, oh, is BlackRock colluding with the Biden administration to like have a monopoly on global? I don't even know what the conspiracy is.
I didn't say Biden does. I don't think Biden.
Whatever his administration, whatever you think it is.
Like I told you in the beginning, I still think Biden's a good man. I don't think he is. I think it's deeper than that. I think we saw that the way they pushed him out. The way they pushed him out, we saw that.
There's just no secret group of people, my man.
He should have ran against Trump. He earned that.
There's no secret group of people that is working behind the scenes to like do any of this stuff, to incentivize BlackRock to be in Ukraine or whatever you're alleging here.
I'm not alleging. I'm just pointing out what I see.
So alleging.
No, what I see. And like I said, I think Biden should have ran against Trump. And I think it probably would have been a closer election if he did.
Well, you wouldn't have voted for him, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter if I would have or not. I think he earned that right.
Well,
they kicked him out because of one bad debate. And they gave that. Why do you think the Democrats wanted that debate early summer, which has never happened before?
I don't know.
Because they didn't want him anymore.
Well, that was a decision that was made by Biden and his campaign.
No, it wasn't. They forced him out, dude.
No, the Biden campaign advocated for this.
Oh my!
So it wasn't the Democratic Party and the Republican Party doesn't set up debates. The candidates do.
Harry, you're a good man. Little things you're missing, dude. They're going under your radar, bro. Why would the president of the United States ask for an earlier debate? Why would the president of the United States ask for earlier debate? Why would
I hate conspiracy theories. I hate conspiracy theories. That's why it's not going under. It's not going under anybody's nose. It's just that these are conspiracies. That the idea that like Biden and his campaign like scheduled the debate early just because they wanted to kick him out. I mean, if they didn't have to go through all that to get him out.
They knew his cognitive issues.
No, there's no cognitive. That's the thing. There's no cognitive issues. There's no debate that was scheduled early to get him out, and there's no group of people that were working to get him out. I'm like, I know people in the Biden campaign. I know people in the Democratic Party. These people were not.
You don't know.
They're not
Harry,
Biden haters.
Harry. You may have met people. You may have talked to people, and I'm not. Listen, you're like way farther ahead of most guys your age, and that's a beautiful thing.
I appreciate that.
All I'm trying to say to you is like, bro, watch. If you open your eyes a little and start calling out bullshit on both sides, watch how they would attack you. Watch how they would attack you, man.
Who's they?
You'd find out real quick.
Come on.
You would, man.
Come on, man.
You would.
Come on, man.
You would. And
come on, bro.
I'm just telling you the truth, man. You would. The moment you start calling out bullshit on both sides, watch how much they try to sink you. And then I don't know who they is, but you're going to find out.
Okay, but that's the thing. Like, this is what, like, some people just like to scare themselves. I think you might fall in the category of wanting to scare yourself. Because like you're saying that there's like this secret group of people who are working behind the scenes. You don't know who they are, but they're working. And if you do this, they'll come after you. But I don't know who they are. It's just like you're creating a fictional group of people to be scared.
I don't think it's fictional, man. I think it's a fact.
It's totally fictional.
You look at our world. You look at the context of our politics right now. How divided as a country we were. How many wars we've been in year after year. Even though the American people haven't voted for these wars, how we are living as a society, how divided we are from.
Because of
Trump. There's something deeper going on here.
It's not something deeper. It's because Donald Trump has entered the political arena.
No, man, we've had fucking issues before though. So what? When Martin Luther King, JFK, Bobby Kennedy, and Malcolm X were murdered, was Donald Trump there then? No.
I'm saying that there's division in politics then. Absolutely. I mean, that was a civil rights movement, right? For sure, there was division in politics. We're just talking about modern American politics right now. Why are we so divided?
You're blaming everything on Trump, and I think Trump is just a symptom of what our society has become.
You can think that he's a symptom. I think he's the cause. I think that Trump rose from like this. Maybe is a symptom if you want to argue that he rose from like the Tea Party movement and made allegations about Obama being like born in Kenya. But the question is, how do we go from?
Well, he was a Democrat until he ran for president. He was a lifelong Democrat.
Well, he switched back and forth. He went from party to party. He did that multiple different times. But the question is, how do we go from like a united country, like we were on at 9/11, or even when like Obama got elected overwhelmingly? How do we go from that?
Can I ask you a question? How old were you in 9/11?
I wasn't alive.
Well, I was, and I'm not putting you down for that because you had no fucking choice in it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like, I'm not going to berate you for that. But I was, and I saw, and the only reason, there was people going to church. The churches, they were out the line, bro. Like
sure,
outside, like a block. Like it was crazy. It was crazy to witness that stuff.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I do not want our country to go through something like that again before we're united. But maybe that's what it takes.
No, I don't want that to be the reason we're united by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm just simply posing the question to you, like, how could the United States go from a moment of unity at 9/11 where like Bush had like a 90% approval rating? You've never seen that before in American history. And a moment like where Obama was elected in 2008, where the country voted overwhelmingly for him, the first black president.
Which I did.
To then you voted for him?
I did. Yeah. I was in the military. I did.
So then to 2016, where we have Donald Trump, one of the most divisive figures in politics, getting elected, and we have more political division than ever before.
Because we found out the war on terror was bullshit. We found out we were lied to about mass
it's not just because we found out that the war. It's not just because we found out that the war on terror was BS and that our involvement in the Middle East is predicated on lies.
This is where it comes into experience. I remember when I was like 10, 11 years old, watching like 10, 20 names on TV every night of soldiers and Marines killed in Iraq.
Yeah.
Under Bush.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to blame Bush for being shitty, sure, I'm there with you.
We were lied to about weapons of mass destruction. So fuck yeah, the country became divided.
But we had a moment of unity with the election of President Barack Obama. So we had that division where we're like, well, shit, this is like a really shitty thing that Bush did. Okay, but then question is, how did we go from Obama and the unity that he brought to the division that Donald Trump brought? How did we go from unity under Obama to division under Donald Trump?
Oh wait, when I went to the
I know you did. I know you did. But how did we get to that? How?
This is where it changed.
Donald Trump entered politics.
did Obama approve? What did Obama approve for Afghanistan in, I think it was 2009?
More troops.
Okay, the surge. Also, who did the most drone strikes of any president?
Donald Trump.
No, Barack Obama.
No, Donald Trump increased drone strikes 450% from Obama.
He may have increased them, but who did the most overall?
In like an 8. Well, okay. I mean, you're comparing like an 8-year term to a 4-year term. I actually think that Trump had more drone strikes in his 4 years than Obama's 8.
He dropped a lot of bombs, which I'd rather have that than American troops in. Now, I don't hate Obama for it. I'm not saying Obama's wrong for doing it, but I'm saying every de-escalation. Obama said he went to Egypt. I remember I was like my first year in the military. I remember, and he was like, "We want peace. We want peace with the Muslim world." It was beautiful. We were like, "This is where the war is going to end." And all it did was escalate. And I don't blame him for that. I don't blame him for that. It's just the way the world is. The Muslim world didn't want peace.
Well, it wasn't the Muslim world. It was bad actors in the Middle East.
Enough of them that didn't want peace. And I'm not trying to offend Muslims. I'm just saying there's enough of them that there's enough of them that can sink that ship.
It wasn't the Muslim world. It was bad groups.
Enough of the Muslim world. You know, the Taliban.
I would not argue that it was most of the Muslim world either. It was very bad groups, but it was not the majority of anybody.
You got to understand, though, Harry. Like, if it wasn't that much, we wouldn't go to war. There's a reason why.
I don't think that's the case.
There's a reason why Obama expanded the war. There was enough.
No, it wasn't. That was not the reason. That was not the reason. Obama didn't expand.
Why
the war
did he expand the surge then in Afghanistan? Why did? This is where it goes down a rabbit hole.
I have to circle people up. People want me to get another person.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
You've been a great host, but like I said, I'm glad we had a good conversation. And
thank you. Well, hey,
pray you just you're a fuck. Like that was the last thing I'll say. You're a very intelligent young man. You got a great future. The only thing I can ask of you as a fellow American is to please see things maybe from the aisle that you're not on.
Sure.
And report it with the same passion that you do now.
Sure.
That's it. That's all I can ask you.
I appreciate it, sir. Thanks for the conversation.
No, and thank you for being a good American and coming on here with the balls to speak his mind.
We try, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Have a good one, all right? Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Thank you, sir. Nice guy. Disagree a lot. Hannah, thanks for the $1. I heard you're all about equity. How about we share a bottle of wine and make things fair? Okay, that was pretty good. I like that one. That's Bruce. Liv, thanks for the $2. Forget the deep state. The only thing I want deep. Okay. Jake, thanks for the $1. They on both sides call you up because you're bad shit. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see you're saying it to that gentleman, but I appreciate you being here. JW, thanks for the $5. Good night, Harry. Have a good Thanksgiving. Please protect your peace. Eat a lot of food. Happy to be part of your journey. I appreciate that. Thank you. Benetta, thanks for the $1. I don't know if you want to say this out loud. Yeah, so you're asking about the Ashley Biden diary. That's been debunked a long time ago. There's no verification that was her diary. It was like passed from like Rudy Giuliani to all these people. There's just no verification. Jake, thanks for the $2 as well. Taylor, thanks for the $2. You look extra pretty today. Oh, well, Taylor, you're so kind. Taylor, I appreciate you. I hope you're having a good one. Happy Thanksgiving. JW again for the $5. I'm a graphic designer. I can design some merch for real. I wanted to talk with you and Chris about it. Maybe it's something to think about. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Anna, thanks for the $1. Hi from Raleigh. Good to see you. I appreciate you. Tessa, thanks for the $15. I don't know how you do it. Tessa Jen in the chat. Well, Tessa, I appreciate you. You guys being here makes it easier to do. I hope you know that. Chris, thanks for the $5. I can't read that out on loud because of TikTok, but I appreciate you. Holly, thanks for the $5. We did our best, Harry. I know, Holly. We all worked very hard. And you worked very hard. I hope you know that. Zaylee, thanks for the $1. I love you and all that you do. I appreciate you. Lynette, thanks for the $5. Lynette, we can absolutely do that. I don't know if you're still here, but yeah, absolutely. That should happen. Shakayla, thanks for the $2.22. I hope you have the best Thanksgiving. So incredibly thankful for you this year. Thank you for literally saving me at my lowest. I appreciate you and so thankful. Shakayla, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving as well. I appreciate you a lot and thank you for being here. Logan, thanks for the $5. Can you explain why Gaza isn't part of the ceasefire? Yeah, this was just a negotiation between Hezbollah and Lebanon and Israel. So it was not including Gaza because that's like there's two different conflicts. If that's a better way to think about it, like two different conflicts. So, but we're still being worked on. Bug, thanks for the $2. I appreciate that as well. I'm also going to restart the live again because there was a flag a moment ago that I don't know if it's affecting the live, but anyway, I'm going to restart the live again, or maybe should I just end it? It's kind of like getting late. I don't know. I'll restart it. I'll be back in a second. I'm going to restart it and then come back. Okay. Well, people are saying don't end. I'll restart. I'll just restart then. I'll be back in just a second. One second. All right. I'll be back. Second restart of the night, unfortunately, but I'll be back in a second. All right. That's him just saying that until it stops altogether, not until they stop cooperating, until this stops altogether, that tariff will remain in place and we, the American people, will pay the tax for it.
Okay, so then we just fundamentally disagree. I believe his tariffs are a bargaining chip in order to have other countries help. In this case...
Oh, so he's lying to us.
So he's lying to us? No, it's a pretty clear bargaining chip. It's leverage.
No, he's lying to us. He's saying that I'm going to put this tariff on just until this ends. But in reality, he's saying it's a bargaining chip. So if they stop cooperating, and even if it hasn't ended, he's just going to take it off. That's lying.
Oh no, he'll just keep the tariffs, which you cited the vegetable graph, which it's like a useless graph to compare for this too, which is why I incited fear mongering, because imported all of our imports, I think the graph was 85%. Sorry, I don't remember exactly. Yeah, it is from Mexico. But how much is our consumption? Where does the majority of our consumption of vegetables come from? And I'll tell you right now, it's not from Mexico. And I can give you the exact percent.
Sure, you can give me the percentage.
Yeah, 78% of our vegetable consumption is directly from America. So to say that this is such a harmful thing that it comes from Mexico, it's fear-mongering. You're just saying,
wait, do you not think so that bad. Like 22, what you said, 76?
78.
78. So do you not think that 22% of vegetables having a tax increase on them is not significant?
No, I would say comparatively, it's not.
What?
Considering that 78% of it is American made, you have to look at consumption.
If 22% of a market has an increase in price, that's almost a quarter of the market increasing in price. That is absolutely significant. And to say that that's fear-mongering, I don't think you know what fear-mongering means, because that's objective fact.
Fact is, sorry, hold on, I'm going upstairs. The fact is that 78% of our consumption isn't from Mexican imported vegetables.
Yeah.
It's so from 41% of it is from California alone.
Almost a quarter of our vegetable consumption is imported from other countries. A significant portion of those countries is Mexico and Canada. If almost a quarter of the produce that we in the United States consume goes up in price, that's really significant. That's a quarter of said market increasing in price.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll concede on that point because it does logically make sense. Okay. My second point, because I mentioned two of your media posts. Yes. Second one was against Pete Hegseth, where the only thing that you mentioned was he was a Fox News host for 8 years, and you completely glanced over the fact that he's a 3-time war veteran, 2 Bronze Stars, I believe it's Harvard and Yale graduate, who was also, I think he was a major in the military. So to dumb him down to just a Fox News host, you can't tell me that's not misleading.
Well, he has been a Fox News host for the past 8 years. And for the past 8 years, he hasn't worked in, actually, let me just put this out generally. He's never worked in a defense agency. He's never worked at the Department of Defense, which he would now be leading. He's never run an organization that's bigger than a small nonprofit. And as I mentioned, for the past 8 years, he's been a Fox News host. So I think that there are, I thank him for his service. The fact that he was a major and served in, I believe it was Iraq and Afghanistan, is fantastic. That's great. But there are a lot of people out there who serve in both, who get rewarded with medals, who probably shouldn't run the Department of Defense. Because if your argument is that, oh yeah, if you just serve, you're qualified to run the biggest military in the world, then I'd say that, okay, is Pete Buttigieg and Tim Walz and all these other Democrats, in your view, qualified to run the Department of Defense? I'd say that people who haven't worked their way up the DoD, people who haven't served the defense agencies, certainly people who have never run an organization bigger than a small nonprofit, should probably not be running the biggest military in the world.
So yeah, I can agree to that. But now you're just saying, oh, the only qualification would be veteran, but he was so much more than just a veteran. And I'm saying in your post, you dumbed him down to only a Fox News host. You did not mention anything else. And I go to the comments, and everyone is saying, oh my God, why would they just allow a Fox News host? Why would they just allow that?
I mean,
You glanced over everything else. Okay, if he's just a Fox News host, can't I just say, oh, he's just an Afghan war veteran?
No, I'm not. I never said he was just a Fox News host, but is it not his current occupation?
It's the only thing you talked about.
It's his current occupation right now. He's been serving at Fox News as a host of one of their weekend shows for the past 8 years. So he has certainly established himself at Fox News, and that's his most recent experience. And I've also talked about Pete Hegseth in depth in other videos, but yeah, he's a Fox News host. That's what he is right now.
Yeah, and his history reflects that he's much more than that. And that video was, I mean, the people in the comments, I mean, they listen and they don't do their own research. And that's all you cited him as, was a Fox News host. You didn't say any of his past accomplishments or his achievements. You didn't say he was from Harvard and Yale. News host?
Well, okay. Well, yeah. I always find it funny when you guys. I always find it funny when you guys cite Harvard and Yale, because all the Republicans say that Harvard and Yale are like liberal indoctrination centers, and now when somebody actually graduates from them, then you cite it as it's great.
Well, I mean, anyway. you can dumb some Republicans to that. I think it's a very prestigious Ivy League school, so I think it's it's a great.
Trump is one of those people. I mean, Trump is one of those people who calls these schools liberal indoctrination. I digress. Yes, Pete Hegseth has done other things, but at the current time, he's a Fox News host. That's why I said he appointed a Fox News host. If he was a major in the Army, I would have said Donald Trump appointed a major in the Army to be the Department of Defense secretary, and I would have still talked about how the fact that he's just not qualified enough to run the DOD. That's all.
Okay, I guess then we can fundamentally disagree on that. I just felt like those posts, when I did concede on the first one, okay, and I'll double check my research to make sure I'm right, because obviously I don't want to. I'm happy to learn. So
100%. I like that.
I did stand on the fact that I think economically Trump was better than Biden, and I think will do better and was better than Harris.
Okay. First of all, shout out everybody coming from Parker's Live. I see that who got taken down, which is upsetting. But so why do you think that Trump was better economically than Kamala Harris or Biden or whoever you want to compare him to?
Yeah. So I think looking at campaigns alone, Harris is $24 million in debt from a campaign where she raised $1.04 billion. I think if you can't even run an accurate campaign, you shouldn't be able to run the country. Trump raised, I think it was $345 million. So we had a third-ish of her budget, managed it more effectively. I'm a marketing student. Her marketing was horrible, bro. It was so bad. Why are you having, celebrities come up and twerk on stage at a rally in front of a bunch of old people when you're trying to lead the country?
Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
So it's an artist. That's like part of her performance. So,
yeah. Why do you need that at a political rally?
It's because, having celebrities brings attention to a political candidate. Yeah. I mean, so like, for example, when Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris, the voting registration website that she linked in her bio or whatever it was, had like 300,000 people go to it in just a day. Right. So that's why you have celebrities, because they have huge pull and huge influence over people that might not pay attention to politics all that much. But I also find this talking point on Harris's campaign funny, because campaigns on a presidential level take on debt like all of the time. It is so incredibly common for a presidential campaign to have a lot of debt because it's very expensive and it's a national campaign. But that's not true. Trump has debt stretching back to 2016 that he still hasn't paid.
Not from the specific campaign. I'm talking about this campaign.
Well, why does it matter about this campaign or another? He still has a bunch of debt.
Because we're talking about this campaign. Kamala Harris has not previously run for presidency.
Come on. He has debt stretching back to 2016. If your argument is that you can't run a campaign effectively and taking on debt. Oh, Parker's here. Sorry, I didn't even see it. If your argument is that taking on debt means that you can't be president, then you'd have to have that same standard for Donald Trump, who still, again, has debt stretching all the way back to 2016 when he first ran for president.
I do understand he's got existing debt. I do. But I think if you run a campaign where you raise that much money, your opponent raises a third of that money, and you do simply so poorly.
Wait, Davis, I just want to let you know, she had around 100 days, so she has to get the American public to know her more than or just as much as Trump did in the past 9 years. So obviously there's more that she has to like try to do. You're also not taking into account all the money that Trump has spent in prior elections. You want to take into account all the money Trump has spent in prior elections in accounting for this election. It's more than what Harris spent. One. Two, as it relates to this, you could also reference the idea that Donald Trump specifically, right? He, in terms of spending and stuff like that, if you look at the overall federal budgets, signed off on more debt-related spending than the Biden-Harris administration. If we talk overall, 8.4 trillion overall, 4.8 trillion non-COVID related. For the Biden-Harris administration, 4.3 trillion overall, 2.2 trillion non-COVID related. And also the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget indicates that Trump's plans, his campaign plans, will cost 7.5 trillion over 10 years comparative to Harris's plans at 3.5 trillion over 10 years debt-related spending for both of them. So why is it the case that he's better, fiscally speaking, if he added more to the debt and his plans are going to add more to the debt?
So I'm curious, is your source for the debt addition the CRFB analysis?
Yeah, the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget. Please don't cite me the budget committee Republican source. I'm going to cry.
the budget.house.gov where it gives the full receipt? You don't want me to cite
you mean
the
Republican partisan source when I just gave you a nonpartisan Committee for Responsible Federal Budget source?
Yeah, so you're going to denounce my source when it gives you the full receipt.
It's partisan and Republican. What do you mean the full receipt? It's a partisan Republican
numbers
source.
Are now Republican. It gives you the full receipts.
The Republicans are the ones that are giving you those specific numbers. Whereas if we reference the numbers from the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget and nonpartisan committee from the federal government, it's going to be numbers that don't have a partisan bias. Right? They're giving you specific numbers that fit their partisan bias, not all of the numbers that explain the entire story of the matter that the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget actually indicates.
Okay, I see that point. That's a fair point. Also, I just want to say before we continue, it's like I see you guys on here all the time, so I appreciate you guys having me up here in the first place.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Watched a bunch of your stuff.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. I just wasn't happy with how Biden handled the economy at all.
How so? What did Biden do that you didn't like?
Yeah. So here I'm scrolling up. The American Rescue Plan, $1.9 trillion dumped in 2021. Supposed to boost the economy. It was supposed to be like a post-COVID relief plan, kind of save America in a sense. Maybe that's a poor verbiage for it.
I don't think it was post-COVID, though. I wouldn't describe it as that. It was
I would say it's definitely COVID-related.
Yeah.
COVID-related. But when would you say COVID ended? Like, when would you say economically?
Well, I mean, when Biden took office, there was still a huge wave of COVID that was affecting the United States right then and there. Like, he couldn't even have like a normal inauguration because COVID, there was a huge wave that was taking place.
So
and I also just want to reference the fact that you just referenced the spending is negative when we just reference the overall debt-related spending being higher for the Trump administration compared to the Biden-Harris administration. Secondly, the American Rescue Plan that you're referencing decreased childhood poverty by 40 to 50%. Do you think decreasing childhood poverty by 40 to 50% is a good economic policy? Because I think that's better than anything that Trump ever provided.
Yeah. I think lowering. I think that's obviously anyone can agree that that's a good thing. What I'm saying is a bad thing is dumping $1.9 trillion into America, essentially hitting a 9.1% inflation rate, and then that's the largest.
Well, that's not even related. That's not related to spending because Trump spent more. So if you want to reference the 1.9 trillion in spending, why don't we reference the 1.9 trillion in debt-related spending caused by the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that predominantly went to the rich and only added 10 billion to the annual GDP, less than 2 billion to federal revenues.
So if his spending was so poor, why didn't inflation increase? And then when the spending was
Because it's not just
it's not just spending isn't the main cause of inflation. You just ran into the point.
It's that you just proved the point that the American Rescue Plan and things that Biden passed didn't lead to inflation. There were other external factors outside the United States that caused inflation to go up.
It did. According to the Consumer Price Index, it caused a 20% increase on goods.
That doesn't mean it was because of the Biden-Harris administration.
Also, if your argument is that the American Rescue Plan and that spending led to inflation, you'd have to concede that Donald Trump's spending led more to inflation, because not only did he spend more, but also his two COVID stimulus packages combined that he passed was a higher amount than Biden's American Rescue Plan in terms of just the amount he spent. So if you think that's what caused inflation, which I think Parker and I would disagree, then you'd have to argue that Trump is a bigger cause of inflation than Biden.
Mm-hmm. The stats don't reflect that, though.
Trump was not. They absolutely do. I just gave you the stats that indicate that. So please tell me what stats you're indicating.
Yeah. So specifically, I mean, I honestly don't I'm unsure whether or not this is a biased source or not. It seems from all the research I've done on it, it seems a solid, unbiased source. Trueflation.com, U.S. Aggregate Inflation Index, currently as of right now.
That's a
actually,
correlation causation fallacy. If you took a statistics class, you'd know that just because it happens under the administration doesn't mean it's caused by them. For example, the 14.8% unemployment that happened at the end of Trump's administration related to COVID. Do you think that was because of Trump, just because it happened under his administration?
That the what was? Sorry.
Do you think that the 14.8% unemployment under Trump's administration was caused due to Trump because it happened under his administration?
No.
Okay, so just because something happens under an administration doesn't mean it's caused by them. So yes, the 9% did happen for month-over-month inflation under the Biden-Harris administration, but how was it caused by the Biden-Harris administration? It happened globally in Africa, Asia, South America, Central America, Europe, everywhere around the world.
Because when you artificially boost the American dollar and give it fake value, that is exactly how inflation increases.
By doing what? You mean increasing the money supply? That happened under Trump's administration. If you look at M1 and M2 money supply, according to the St. Louis Federal Reserve, they increased more under the Trump administration, significantly more.
Although it didn't, because inflation did not increase to the level that it's at today. It's still higher today when COVID is definitionally over.
Yeah, it takes years for these things to compound. And also that doesn't mean that it's caused by the Biden-Harris administration.
Yeah,
so
I guess we just have a fundamental disagreement, because you're saying it's not. You're saying correlation causation. I'm disagreeing. I'm saying it's not correlation causation.
But then what would be the reason?
Yeah.
Well, what's the explanation for why the inflation occurred?
Dumping $1.9 trillion into the American economy.
But then wouldn't you have to argue that Trump is more responsible?
Yeah, he would. He thinks that Trump caused more inflation.
No, I would just say that Trump's spending was not as reckless as the $1.9 trillion in the American Rescue Plan.
The $8.4 trillion debt-related spending was less reckless than the $4.3 trillion.
If it was, if it was more reckless, wouldn't have been a greater inflation increase, bro?
Just to be clear, Trump in his last year in office, which was actually less than a year, it was around 9 months, passed 2 stimulus packages that were bigger in size than the American Rescue Plan. So if you think that the American Rescue Plan is reckless spending, how do you not think that Donald Trump engaged in reckless spending and thus has higher accountability for inflation than Biden and Harris?
Sorry, hold on. Let's just rewind to Dex. I just think it's the quality of the spending. You can take $20 and do more with it than you can take $100.
Wait, so tell me what's the difference in quality of spending that justifies that the Trump spending that at the double the rate that the Biden-Harris administration caused less inflation?
You look at the numbers. The spending did not. If you're saying, it's you could call it, I guess, a lagging effect. The inflation we experience now is partly due to what he did.
Yes.
Now you have to prove that that's what it came from instead.
Wait.
Of what
we
Biden's
prove
came
it based
from.
upon your argument. Your argument is that spending causes inflation. Okay, who spent more? Trump. Therefore, Trump caused more inflation. That's it. That's literally your argument. We proved it based upon a commitment that you already have, that spending causes inflation. That's how I proved it.
I'm saying specific spending causes inflation.
What specific spending causes inflation? Be clear.
Okay, I'll say it again. The American,
No. You're saying a policy that you think caused inflation. Why did that policy cause inflation in terms of the spending? What specific spending within the American Rescue Plan caused inflation that didn't cause inflation under Trump?
The American Rescue Plan, when you shovel out money to American citizens, you artificially boost the income. There's a difference between letting people keep their money and handing them a check.
You'd have to say that Trump caused inflation.
So he's not saying any specific spending caused inflation. He's just saying spending causes inflation. But again, Trump did more spending.
Right, but there was not an inflation increase under Trump like there was under Biden.
It takes years for these things to compound.
So, and when you see the stimulus package that Biden passed, are you telling me that in the middle of a global pandemic, when economies around the world had shut down, our economies had shut down, trading routes were shut down, our supply chains were backed up, you think that it was the American Rescue Plan that led to 9% inflation all over the world and not the COVID pandemic? I think that she should have done it. I think that there should have been time, but they had obligations that they had to fulfill that were made like months in advance. And, it's hard to cancel those things when the election is like 2-3 weeks away.
Yeah, but her team said, we'll do it under these conditions that you come to us. I think and then a handful of other things. Loki, I don't remember the exact list, but there was 3 definitive ones where she just refused to go out and see him, but he had to go out and do everything for her. Meanwhile, Trump's running a campaign as well. I know you're saying, he didn't have to do as much. He still ran a campaign, had obligations, had more rallies, did more things in his campaign with less budget. And
she's also the current vice president of the United States. So she has to balance like being VP while also being a presidential candidate.
It's an interesting statement because a lot of the things, I mean, I'm not saying I've heard this directly from you two, but a direct thing I hear is, oh, well, she was just vice president. She doesn't do a whole lot.
So actually the most tie-breaking votes of any vice president ever. I also just want to recognize, Davis, can you name one thing a vice president has done in history?
A vice president has done in history? No, I can't. Yeah, I can name some things that Kamala did before she was vice president, which are, quite despicable.
What?
But not Donald Trump being held civilly liable of sexually abusing women or bragging about grabbing women by the vagina without asking, or walking in changing rooms of naked teenage girls because he quote unquote owns the place. You don't believe Eugene Carroll? Yeah,
no,
why do you believe her?
Eugene Carroll's a nutcase. Are you kidding me?
Okay, how is she a nutcase?
Well, her cat, I don't know if I can say it, but her cat is named a
That doesn't mean
pussy.
You can be assaulted? How does that mean you can't be assaulted?
No, I'm explaining why she's a nutcase. I'm explaining why she's a nutcase.
I'm not trolling. I have a friend who has their cat named that as well. What does that mean? They're a nutcase?
Yeah, that's a weird thing, dog. That is a weird thing to name your cat.
You don't know like Puss in Boots?
Yeah, that's not it. You didn't name your kid. Puss in Boots is not named.
That's pretty similar.
Vagina.
What are you talking about?
That's her cat's name. That's weird.
Okay. What does that mean? Someone wasn't sexually assaulted?
Yeah, just
why
because
is that relevant for you to bring up when she was sexually assaulted?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, how could you believe her? She's a nut job.
So wait, if somebody has
she's a nut job, what evidence do you have to indicate that?
That the fact, have you heard her talk? She said that grape is a fantasy for people.
Yeah, other people think that within society, which is a problem that creates a culture that increases the likelihood of people being assaulted. That's what she was saying, but none of you actually, wow, you're just homophobic?
No, she was hitting on the gay news host, and he was obviously. How is that, Parker? Explain to me how that's homophobic. That I said she was hitting on a gay.
I thought you were bringing up the fact that he was gay news host for that, but she wasn't.
No, I don't care. Him. Trump appointed a gay man to his cabinet. Awesome. I literally do not care what you identify.
Think she was hitting on Anderson Cooper? What the?
She was. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I don't even know what you're referencing.
Oh
yes,
my God.
I watched the whole thing.
Yes, she was
you're actually
clearly hitting on him.
The fact that you're using this to like dispute the fact that she was assaulted is insane.
Because I'm
actually baffled at what I'm hearing right now. This is wait.
And
so
also,
are you saying?
Wait, I don't know what you mean by like obviously gay. By the way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, somehow I have been flagged, so I don't want to get your stuff taken out. I fundamentally disagree with the grape case. I don't believe Eugene Carroll.
No, you don't believe it because it happened. It's Donald Trump. If it were somebody else, if it were a Democrat, you believe it. Let me ask you this.
So now you're generalizing.
A male's DNA, the Eugene Carroll, the dress that she was wearing the day that she was assaulted, she preserved all these years. When they didn't attest on the dress, Eugene Carroll gave her DNA over for testing, and they found on the dress an unidentified male's DNA. They asked Donald Trump to give his DNA over, and he refused. Why do you think he refused? If it wasn't him.
So he refused initially. Correct. I will agree. He actually ended up saying, yeah, I will give my DNA. And
after the time slot allotted legally. So he
after
knew
3 years, by the way.
Accepted.
3 years in discovery. He could have done it the moment they asked. He could have done it the year after they asked, 2 years after they asked. He waited until discovery, the discovery period for evidence to be submitted, ended. And then the judge said to him, sorry, buddy, you had the chance to do it and you refused. So why do you think that Donald Trump refused to give his DNA over when he had the opportunity to do so before the discovery period ended?
Why do I think? I mean, honestly, that's a good question, Harry. That is a good question.
Yeah, maybe it's because Donald Trump knows he did it.
Why is the dress that she claimed to be wearing? Why was it not actually? Why did it not exist? Why did she not remember what year she was raped? Why did her story change upwards of 5 times?
So the dress literally existed because it was tested. I don't know what you mean that by the dress didn't exist.
The clothes she claimed to be wearing, the company came out and said, no, those clothes were not produced yet.
That's not true.
That's not true. They specifically said actually that it is the case that they were produced. It was produced in the 80s. You just lied. You have no clue what you're talking about. It's the same lie over and over again by Trump supporters.
Davis, you know how many people I've talked to? Fast and then Davis, you don't back up sources.
I'm sorry. Really, I can provide you. Can you tell me specifically what store this happened in?
What store it happened in? Oh my God, another flag. Is this going to get your live taken down? Because I genuinely don't want that to happen.
Answer the question.
I respect you, but
I haven't gotten anything yet, so.
Okay, I did though, so I think
you should be fine. I haven't gotten anything.
What store, Davis?
You should be fine.
What store?
What store did Eugene Carroll
get assaulted in? Yes.
What's the name of it? It's literally right on the tip of my tongue. It's like Is it? No, it's right there.
Berg.
Burr.
Burr.
Bergdorf. If you can't get it yet, you don't know it.
Bergdorf.
Bergdorf. We're
I
telling
can't
you.
remember the
It's
last. I
Bergdorf
can't remember
Goodman.
the last 2 letters.
It's Bergdorf
Yeah,
Goodman.
Goodman. Fuck, that's
Jesus.
you know, that's,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
embarrassing.
Oh, yeah, he was right there.
I just missed it,
dude.
I'm
Right
watching
there.
Saul
I just
Goodman.
missed it. You
Oh,
know.
I just missed it, dude. Just missed it.
Jesus Christ, you're actually like a fucking joke. You don't know any of the evidence in the case. You didn't know where it happened. You have no clue about the story. You just called her insane because you want to dispute a victim when she was assaulted and held her abuser simply liable in a court. You fucking weirdo.
Parker, have you seen
What is
any
wrong
of your
with
own
you?
clips online? You're gonna call me a joke? I don't think you have any.
Yes,
ground
I
to
Parker
stand
called
on.
you a
buddy.
joke.
Parker Cooks.
Yeah.
Cooked.
You've seen,
His
you've seen
name
the
is
clips
not
of
Jimmy.
me.
Call him Jimmy
you've-
Cooks.
you've
Parker Cooks, buddy.
Yeah, you've seen the clips
did
of me
not. That's
cooking
more
your
delusional than
cold
voting
eater
for
Charlie
Harris.
Kirk. You saw me cook Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, he cooked the
You
shit
did
out of
not
Ben
cook
Shapiro.
Charlie
Cooked the
Kirk.
shit out
You
of
bounced
Charlie
around
did.
and talked fast.
Really, name one point I lost on.
Name one. The entire debate, dog.
Name one. Name one point specifically.
He said, "Okay, yeah, I'll tell you an actual thing that you lost on." Which he said, "Okay, I'll give you what was it, a minute or 30 seconds to talk," and then you just completely jumped around the
And I
entire
want like a
time.
specific. I want a specific
Did you want me
point
to
I lost
script
on.
the entire thing? You want me
Just
to
give me
pull it up
one
and play
point
it
I
for you?
lost on. Can
No,
you
just
just give
like
me
one
one
topic.
specific?
Yeah, just one topic.
A single. I'm telling you the entire thing. Literally the entire thing.
on.
And if you go and look at Shapiro as
on.
well, you completely got
Well,
debunked by
if you think he
Shapiro.
lost in the entire thing, you should give him an example of like
Give me-
one
give me
topic
an
that you thought
example
was
on any
particularly
of
The
them.
bad.
video. Okay,
With
third
Ben
flag
or
is
with
not
Charlie?
good. So tell you what, I'll concede. I will concede. I'll tell you both are good debaters. Something that I'm going to continue to practice and do my research on. We just fundamentally disagree, and I hope the country goes the right way.
Saying
he
that
just
while
straight up
voting for
left.
Donald Trump is crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
he said he
yeah.
was getting all these flags. Bro, you don't get 4 flags. That's not how TikTok works.
And also nothing came up for me that entire debate. No flags.
4 flags?
Nothing.
I've never seen that happen on a live ever, and I've been doing lives for like fucking 3 years. Every day.
Yeah, that I
3 or
don't
4
buy any of
years.
that. Yeah, Rebecca, thanks for the $5. I'm avoiding family, friends tomorrow by going to the Packer Dolphins game. Happy that'll be a good one. A Thanksgiving football can't go wrong. Jessica, thanks for the $5. I'm spending Thanksgiving with my best friend in our MAGA family. We made a secret bingo card. Man, you're gonna fill up that card really quickly, probably before the turkey even comes out. Lindsay, thanks for the $75. Me again. My patience watching your patience wants to run headfirst through the wall. Happy Thanksgiving, Lindsay. Can we get some W's for Lindsay in the chat? I really appreciate that. W Lindsay is $75. That is amazing. I appreciate you so much. We love you. You're fantastic.
And Lindsay, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Lindsay. I really appreciate that. For
Let's
Parker's
go.
a 5-star Michelin chef at this point. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Can we some W's for Lindsay in the comments section
W
right now?
Lindsay,
Thank you.
W Lindsay, a bunch of them. And Liv, thanks for the $10. I think I've officially run out of raunchy captions, but seriously, thank you for using your voice to amplify issues that matter. Liv, I appreciate you so much. You're amazing. Thank you for the $10. And Maze, thanks for the $50 as well, saying W Harry, love you. Please fill the chat with Maze for W's for Maze. At least 50 of them. I appreciate you so much. And thank you for being back here and supporting. You mean the world. You're fantastic. You're amazing. W's in the chat for Lindsay. W in the chat for Maze and Liv as well. And Jaden, thanks for the $10 as well. Grateful for your debates. Always a pleasure to watch and learn. And Jaden, it's always an honor to have you here. I appreciate you. And Maggie, thanks for the $5 as well. And Keelan, thanks for the $5. Joseph, you MAGA buddy?
I am.
What? How old are you, bro?
I'm 28.
And you voted for Donald Trump?
Yeah.
What a disaster. I mean, do you regret it yet or what?
No, he hasn't even started.
Yeah, exactly. And there's already shitty things happening, like promising a 25% tariff on everything coming in from Mexico and Canada, and additional 10% on China. And it's his cabinet appointees appointing Matt Gaetz to be Attorney General. He was so bad he had to withdraw. You don't think that like this shows bad judgment? The fact that he's already beefing with the Mexican president?
I mean, I don't really follow politics that much, so I don't know everything about him.
Okay,
That explains a lot.
well, maybe you should have followed politics a little bit more before you voted, because he did actively call for literally a trade war with 2 of our allies, really, that went against his renegotiation of NAFTA, which was the USMCA, which decreased tariffs. So he's increasing tariffs on the countries that he decreased tariffs on through the trade agreement that he said was great, which is going to cause a trade war with Mexico. And Justin Trudeau said that they had a good conversation, but didn't indicate much else. And if Paul specifically gets into office, the other prime minister candidate, specifically in Canada, who is right wing, said that he would also want to start a trade war with
That's good.
Trump.
That's fucking awesome.
And he's likely to be the next candidate because of the incumbencies getting voted out in their elections next year. Garrett, thank you for the $5. Tree, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. And Amber, thank you for the 10. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know enough to like really debate you. To be honest.
Why are people saying your posts are weird? By the way, what's going on?
Well, I just like my abortion stance. That's probably why.
You want to talk about abortion?
Well, yeah.
Joseph, are you Christian?
No.
No. Okay, so like, I have a question. Do you think that it's valuable because of life at conception?
No.
No. Okay, so then why is abortion wrong?
I think I'm just against abortion, like women just being able to go get abortion without any restrictions just because they don't want to have a kid.
Okay, so for example, if my girlfriend got pregnant, should she be able to get an abortion in the first trimester?
Is that like that's first 9 weeks, 13 weeks or something like that, right? What's the first? Like, tell me the first trimester. How many weeks is that?
Does it matter at any point in the first trimester? Should it be legal?
I mean, yeah, I need to know
It's like
how
the
many weeks.
first 3 months.
Yes, it's like the first.
Yeah, like I think after 20 weeks, no, you shouldn't be able to. 22 weeks.
You agree with?
Yeah, dude. Seriously, like what? No one would say that that's an issue in the comments. I'm sorry. No one would say that. I hold the position. I hold that position. So
Yeah, Parker and I actually, that's what our position is on abortion.
Oh,
yeah. So like,
okay.
yeah, that's not the reason why people. So you must have some crazy shit.
No, that's literally just what I say. I just say that.
No
So
way
you
it's your
disagree-
abortion, yeah.
You disagree with Donald Trump overturning Roe v. Wade because that was literally what Roe v. Wade
I just
established.
say that I'm against abortion. That's probably why people are saying I have crazy posts. I just say that.
So you're pro-life for yourself, but don't want to restrict other people's rights to an abortion.
Well, yeah, I just don't want people having abortions after 20 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Why are people saying you're racist as well? What's that all about?
I don't, bro. You know how the internet is.
Well, people are saying that you made a video that you wish you could be a person of color because of privilege.
No, bro. You can check out my profile. I never said that shit.
Is that what people are? But everybody in the chat is saying.
Oh yeah, I could.
Yeah,
him off. He's disgusting. He's disgusting. He's denying the McGregor stuff after he was found guilty.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're good, bro.
That type of person.
You're
and,
good.
And he literally said he wishes he had black privilege.
That's fucking insane, dude.
That's like actually insane.
Yeah. So if you're MAGA, let us know in the chat. We'll bring you up and you can talk if you want to come up and debate.
And then he also has one saying, I just don't know people can justify abortion. Well, I mean, he just said that it was justified from up until 20 weeks, which is most abortion.
So is he just like off his goddamn rocker? Yo, Lindsay, thanks for the $75 again, Lindsay. What the hell? I appreciate you so much. Even more. Why is the bar so much higher for a woman? Why is she expected to be better? Kamala surpasses Trump on every level. I totally agree, Lindsay. Thank you so much for the $75. Please fill the chat with W's for Lindsay again. Is this second time? I think maybe second or third time
for Lindsay. W's for Lindsay.
That's crazy, Lindsay.
Kendall, thank you for the $5. Jennifer, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. And Alana, thank you so much for the $3. Thank you so much.
What's going on here?
Alana asked if we could specifically wish Olivius her eighth birthday. So happy birthday, Olivius.
Happy birthday, Olivius. Hope it's a good one. Oh my God, that's so cool. Rain, hello.
Thank you so much
there?
for the $5.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good, man. You vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah, I've talked to you before. I worked on the campaign for a little bit, but hey, you kind of went back and forth the last couple of guys before you cut the chat and you had to start over again. But the one thing that I don't think you really touched on was that what is the reason why VP Harris lost? And I think you have to. There's no way around it. Talking about the social issue about trans, the commercial. Kamala's for they, them.
Wait. So can you tell me where in the exit polls that was the reason why she lost? Because in the exit polls, it mostly indicated inflation. People attributed inflation to the incumbent president when there was no reason to do that.
Yeah.
Well, inflation hasn't gone down.
It has gone down.
Yes, it has. And that's related to the Federal Reserve.
So the prices have... So it went from, what was it, 8% from 2022 or 21 to now it's like, it's down 2%, but still hasn't gone down. the salaries.
There's not going to be deflation. Wages have gone up, accounting for inflation. Real median wages are higher right now than Q4 2019. Real GDP has gone up every year since Biden's got in office.
So if you take Biden's 4 years versus Trump's 4 years for the median wage or wage growth, Trump's at 8.2%, Biden's at a measly 1.1.
That's going to be because of inflation.
No, that doesn't matter. If you look at the real wages,
Matt, thank you so much for the $3. Thank you so much.
GDP,
real wages is accounting for inflation. So obviously, the inflation that happened globally is going to impact those numbers. Gia, thank you so much for the $4. Thank you so much. You can also reference that net Trump lost jobs under his administration.
Well, what do you think about that? COVID.
What? Oh.
Okay. So you blame some economic things on Donald Trump, or excuse me, you blame some bad economic things on COVID, but others that happened under Biden, you blame on Biden?
Yeah, it was the China virus. I mean, you can't.
What?
That's
even
crazy.
if you take that,
dude. What is wrong with you? So okay, wait. So with Trump having high unemployment, that is COVID. That's COVID. But when Biden has high inflation, that's Joe Biden.
I'm talking about all 4 years, including COVID.
Yeah, inflation is a lagging indicator. So under Biden's 4 years, inflation kicked in because COVID started in 2020, and then in 2021, inflation started to go up. It lagged by around a year.
Okay, but I'm not even talking about, take the COVID part out of Trump's 4 years, but okay. I'm talking about all 4 years of Trump's versus basically all 4 years of right now with Biden. If you compare the real wage growth, it's not even, it's 8.2% to 1.1.
Yeah, you're just doing a correlation causation fallacy. You're saying because two things are associated means one caused the other.
No.
And again, as Parker said, real wages accounts for inflation. So if Biden has COVID, he inherited COVID from Trump, and the economy's in a downturn that he has to rescue, of course the numbers aren't going to be as great, especially when inflation was up because of COVID.
Okay, but for the lower class and middle class American, that's what they're going to feel it the most. That's why they voted for
I don't
Trump.
disagree that people feel it, but we have to be honest about what's causing it. Joe Biden did not cause high inflation. It is not because of Joe Biden.
$2 trillion on the Investment Act, which is the guy before the last talking about. The 1.9
the American Rescue Plan. Okay, we're going to make the same argument to you that we made to him. If you think that the American Rescue Plan caused inflation because it's $1.9 trillion, then you'd have to argue that Donald Trump played more of a role in inflation because his two COVID relief bills were higher in spending than Joe Biden.
Yes, the actual amount was more, but it didn't cause the amount of inflation that Joe Biden did.
How can you argue that?
You look at the numbers, look at the real wage, and I mean, you can't really talk about GDP because GDP was,
oh my God. Again, this is a correlation causation fallacy. Okay, you're just saying that, okay, because the inflation occurred under Joe Biden, it must be the fault of him. And since it didn't occur under Donald Trump, then Donald Trump had no role. But if you're just saying that spending, the $1.9 trillion bill in the American Rescue Plan led to inflation, then you'd have to also argue that it was caused more so by Donald Trump because the amount of his two bills combined is higher. Like, just because the presidency switched doesn't mean that the inflation rate just goes down or up or stays or changes. It's not that's nonsense.
That's why I was talking about the social issues. You brought up inflation because we already talked about that.
Yeah.
For about half an hour.
Yeah. So inflation is the main reason that people voted for Donald Trump. I
disagree with that. I think the social issues with young men over 10 points voted for Trump. It's just when you base your campaign on helping out the 1% of 1%, it's going to turn off voters. And I know people that
Trump did.
No, Trump was for you, not for they, them. I mean, I'm just summarizing that, but why that was the most effective.
I can't believe that ad was affected. It's like
that
such
was
a stupid
most effective
line.
ad in my lifetime.
It's just such a stupid in your lifetime. Are you kidding me? It's just such a stupid ad. Donald Trump was for the wealthy. That's who he was for. And then he put on a guise of I'm actually for middle class workers. But his policy just overwhelmingly benefits the wealthy. That's who Donald Trump is for. He's for he's for Jeff Bezos. He's for Elon Musk. They'll do just fine under a Trump administration. Everybody else is going to get screwed over, though, unfortunately.
Well, why does the billionaires support Harris overwhelmingly?
I'm sorry. Do you not think that Elon Musk exists by any chance, or the Koch brothers?
Musk and Peter Thiel. That's the only two billionaires I can think of.
Yeah, Elon Musk, the richest person in the world.
I'm talking about as a whole. More billionaires support Harris than Trump. So
there are billionaires like Mark Cuban, for example, that supported Kamala Harris, not because they think they're going to do better under Kamala Harris, but that they think that she'd be better for business. Like a bunch of Fortune 500 CEOs also endorsed Kamala Harris because her policies were more pro-business.
No, they're more pro-business for them because they can afford to pay the...
No, they're more pro-business for America because then, under Donald Trump's view, these companies would have to pay tariffs, which is anti-business.
You want to talk about tariffs? So
let's talk about tariffs.
Yeah. Okay. So if you go look back in our country, we've had tariffs up until it basically funded everything up until 1913 with the creation of the income tax, and then if we go through,
did we have Social Security? Did we have Medicare? Did we have Medicaid?
Yeah. Did we also have to fund like huge jets that fly in like our military at that time?
Well, let me get to the point.
What was our federal budget at that time?
Yeah. Right.
Oh well, you tell me.
Yeah, so Izzel, thank you so much for the dollar. Thank you so much. Let's pull up the 1913. You said 1913, right?
Yeah.
Federal budget. Let's actually see. United States federal budget in 1914. Total government spending change. 3.4 billion. 3.5 billion in 1914.
Okay, and what is that in today's dollars?
That's in today's dollars. That's accounting for inflation.
Oh, that's accounting for inflation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so that point is that with the coincide of the income tax, we've had a huge increase in the growth of the federal government. And also we had, I don't know if it was 1913, but we had the way how they changed to elect senators. It used to be the state legislators that elected senators. So now
so you understand that federal budget's gone up drastically.
Yeah. And so let me get to my point. So we get to World War II, and what do we have to do? We had to bail out Germany and Japan to help rebuild economies. And so what we did is that's the very start of where the trade.
I don't see how this is relevant to you saying that we're going to be able to like go back to just tariffs. That's a fucking insane idea. Plus you're destabilizing relations with other countries.
No. I'm not saying go back to just tariffs. What I'm saying is our trade imbalances I hope you at least admit that we have trade imbalances today. Where it's
but that is, tariffs aren't going to help those.
So if we do across the board tariffs, that's gonna be horrible. I think you can agree with that.
That's what Trump was advocating for.
So Trump is making it simple. I mean, that's his politics. He was making it as simple as he can.
25% tariff on Canada and Mexico. You think that's a good idea?
No, it's called a threat.
Oh, okay. So then what types of tariffs is he actually going to do?
So he's using the threat of tariffs to bring him to the negotiating table. So his Commerce Secretary
negotiating table for what?
To bring down existing tariffs.
That's already what they did with the USMCA.
So what I'm trying to say is,
so if they already did that with the USMCA, why is he doing it again?
Because it's still unbalanced. It's still not. And I was trying to tell you.
So it's not about the balance. It's about something else.
Well, no. So there needs to be a strategic use of tariffs instead of applying across the board. And
you just said it was to get them to negotiate decreasing tariffs, but then at the same time, and then after that, like literally just decided to argue, no, it's not about the decreasing that. It's specifically about it's about the level of money going in terms of the balance. Like you just argued two separate things: balance versus the level of tariff.
So you can have both at the same time. So we have a significant trade imbalance with major economies. Since after World War II, we lowered the tariffs on the countries that needed to get, where they were devastated by the war and needed to get rebuilt. And this was part of I'm sure you heard of it, the Marshall Plan. And these countries were allowed to, maintain the tariffs on us. So we had to pay their tariffs, but everything was, free trade. Anything we shipped in or they shipped to us was free. We didn't have to pay any tariffs. And that's continued to this day. And that needs to stop. That's why we have such a huge trade deficit with the rest of the world.
No, I don't think because even when we decrease the specific tariffs, that could still occur. I don't know what you're arguing. So tariffs, if they want to place a tariff on us, that's fine. That's going to negatively impact their economy. Let them do it. You don't want to replace a tariff on them. There's no point.
Part of it affects the actual producers, the plants, not just the people. 70% of it towards the people, but 30% of it, I would say, roughly towards, whoever was manufacturing the, whatever good. And we shouldn't place tariffs on goods that we don't make in this country. I mean, that's just dumb.
Well, that's when you do a tariff on an entire country, you're doing that. So, and Lindsay, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much. Give me some W's for Lindsay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Can you and or Harry comment or make a video about Newsom and other Democratic governors' response to the preparations for Trump's coming tragedy? So yes, actually, presidency. Yes. Actually, one thing he did recently was that he made it so that Tesla cars won't get the tax credit from the California government, because he wants to get rid of the federal government wants to get rid of it in complete. So California's going to keep it for all the other EV cars but Tesla.
Yeah, that's some baller shit. Also, Sarah E., thank you for the $50 on Venmo as well, saying thanks for doing what you do yet again. Sarah, thank you for everything that you do. I appreciate you. Throw some W's for Sarah in the chat. I appreciate that so much. You are amazing. And thank you for continuing to support. We love you. You're fantastic.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. So why don't you see in Europe, why don't you see a lot of Jeeps and GMCs or Chevys?
I don't know. You let me know.
They put 100% tariffs, but yet in the United States, we see BMWs.
Wait, that doesn't mean we want to do tariffs. That's not good for our economy.
Yeah, their economies are different. And also, I think it's clear, or we want to make it clear, that Democrats and Parker and I generally, we don't agree with very targeted, or don't disagree with very targeted tariffs. So if you want to put a targeted tariff on a certain industry like we do on Chinese electric vehicles, I have no problem with that. Yeah, but what we're arguing against, and the guy that you voted for is supporting, is blanket tariffs, just blanket tariffs across everything.
That's the point I'm trying to make, is that I think anyone can agree that when President Trump speaks, he used very broad political terms so people can understand. But specifically, if you talk to Howard Lutnick, his Commerce Secretary, he's talking about Pacific, tariffs, not across the board.
No, Trump is absolutely talking about across the board tariffs.
No, he's not. He's said that.
He explicitly said universal on plenty of occasions.
No. Well, he doesn't.
I'm sorry. Are you in Trump's mind? Are you saying that when he said, just listen to this? This is the statement he put out the other day, November 25th, 2024 at 6:35 on tariffs. On January 20th, as one of my many first executive orders, I will sign all necessary documents to charge Mexico and Canada a 25% tariff on all products coming into the United States. When he says all products, that sounds pretty across the board to me.
That's what I'm trying to say, is he says across the board, but his actions speak differently.
Okay, so Trump is lying.
Trump
is lying to the American people.
It's a negotiation. It's for negotiation. It's a point to make.
But he's lying.
I mean, if you want to call it that, sure.
So you're open. Okay, so Donald Trump is openly lying. So either he's going to put blanket tariffs on everything.
He's not.
That's what he's saying he's going to do.
I understand that, but he's not.
Wait, are you saying now we can't trust Trump's word? He's
no,
the president-elect.
He's using it as a negotiation tactic.
Ben Shapiro would say that. He says no one takes him seriously.
Yeah.
What a joke. What an idiot.
I mean, he's using it to... you see all the drugs and okay, I can't say the F word.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Don't say that.
I can't.
No, don't.
Okay. You need to make a list of before the stream what you can and what, because I almost caught myself. But anyways,
we would just kick you off in that type of circumstance. It's too difficult to tell everyone coming up. Oh, you can't say F drug. Oh, what is F drug?
Yeah. Okay.
And they might say it too. Yeah.
So the F drugs coming across, and so I would say Mexico they're not doing their part to stemming the F drug coming across and it
mostly comes across by the use of U.S. citizens.
Yeah, Native born American citizens are doing it
for the drugs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I also don't understand what do you expect the Mexican president to do that they're not doing?
Well, it is difficult to say because she is controlled by the cartels. Any president in Mexico, you have to.
What did they kill?
What do you mean? What they killed 5
what
of the.
What evidence do you have of that?
Then up until the last election, the running up in election season, they killed 10 political appointees because they didn't fit the role. The cartels control Mexico. Do you not agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I would believe that if you gave me evidence to believe that.
Yeah, like I've never heard this before.
Oh, Justin with the $200 on Cash App. Holy shit. Can we get some W's for Justin in the chat? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Holy shit. I want to see W's for Justin for like the next like fucking 20 minutes. Yo,
Please
Justin,
fill the
thank
chat
you for
with
the $200. Thank you so much.
man.
I appreciate
Justin,
that,
you just spent
Justin.
your money
Thank
better
you
than
so
that,
much.
bud.
Yo, Chris, thanks for
You're
the
so
$10
mad. You're
on Cash App
jealous,
as well.
right?
Carly, I appreciate the $1 as well. And Joshua, I appreciate the $2. Kendall, look at appreciate the $10. Jennifer, thanks for the $5. And Chris, thanks for the $35 as well. You're my fave to watch. In brackets, still love you too, Parker, she says. Sorry, just say that again. Lower there, what?
So
Sorry,
if he uses it as a negotiation tactic to bring them to the table and lower all tariffs, that'd be great.
Why would we have to threaten them with tariffs to do that?
Because they won't do it on their own.
Yeah, they absolutely would do it on their own.
Show me the proof that that's happened up until
we have constant cooperation with countries, especially the countries that border us. Like we're constantly talking to them. We have a trade deal with them, specifically with them.
Yeah, and we had NAFTA. Who signed that? Clinton. That was terrible.
Wait, we had the USMCA, which Trump advocated for, I thought was so amazing, and then he goes against it with the 25% tariffs on both Canada and Mexico.
If you honestly believe they're going to have a 25% tariff, I don't know what to say to you.
So just to be clear, if Trump does a 25% tariff on all goods, as he's saying he's going to do on day one, will you come back up here and say that you're wrong?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Can't wait.
Because
I will. You're
going to be wrong. This guy's like, then the guy like totally lied throughout the campaign. I mean, he was saying that, oh, we're going to get rid of this tax and this tax and this tax and replace it with tariffs, and it's going to be great, and we're going to do this tax and all this stuff. So he was just lying throughout the entire campaign. You say that he's lying now. I mean, God,
I'm not saying he's using it as a tactic to bring them across because they will believe. Obviously, if you believe that, then they're going to believe that.
I still think that's nonsense. I don't think you should be able to lie, or I don't think you should lie to the people of the United States as like a tactic when it comes to campaigning or like what you're going to do as president. Because again, he's been saying like, oh, I'm going to get rid of your overtime tax and replace it with tariffs, and we're going to raise the revenue. That makes no sense. That's not in line with like any economist out there and what they
I don't think that's a good idea either, but
that's what he's saying, and you voted for him anyway.
I understand that. I would look more closely at who he's nominated for cabinet picks, what they say, because they're more in line. But we're talking about now. So is that not an effective, tactic? That is anything he says on his Truth Social or even Twitter or X, it's news.
Sure, it's news, yeah, but I don't think that this is like an effective tactic. If we, the United States, want to sit down with Mexico and Canada and have like broader cooperation on this stuff, we can do that without threatening them, right? There are allies, there are like huge trading partners, and China as well is a huge trading partner. Now, I think we should be, China's different than Canada and Mexico, but they're a huge trading partner. These three countries make up like 46% of the stuff that we, the United States, import. We shouldn't be threatening people we import stuff with. Because as Parker just talked about, a certain guy in Canada, the possible next prime minister of Canada, wants a trade war with the United States. Should we really just be like going head first into that? No, we shouldn't be doing that at all. So this is just bad policy. We can work with Mexico on curbing drug flow and immigration flow, which also helps them without threatening them. It's just bad policy.
But they haven't really done anything in regards to the immigration problem over the last 4 years. Would you not agree with that?
Joe Biden secured an over $1 billion investment from the Mexican president to invest in border technology. So clearly they're interested in stopping this problem, because people leaving Mexico, leaving their economy, doesn't help them, right? It doesn't help them at all. So Mexico also has an incentive to do this. And I still don't buy your argument that they're not interested in like curbing drug flow because they're owned by the cartel or whatever that claim is.
Well, no, that is absolutely true, because the cartels, I don't know if you've seen it, there was a documentary a couple weeks ago where they were comparing the firepower of the cartels versus the regular Mexican army. It was not even close. And another problem is that probably is not really been talked about is the Mexican cartels will actually buy these illegal weapons from American citizens who will buy them here and then send them over for, cash, basically.
Yeah, but a lot of the weapons that the cartel owns are produced by Americans.
That's what I just said. They're sold by American citizens who can buy them legally and
So
send
would
them
you
over.
agree with like reducing the production of firearms in the United States?
The actual production?
Yeah.
Well, not if it's going to violate my Second Amendment right.
Okay. So just an interesting, like, oh, well, it's not going to violate your Second Amendment right, but anyway, doesn't matter. Point is, sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if there's many convictions. I think they're looking at it because that's like the number one source of all these weapons going to Mexico. Because I don't know if you've ever been to Mexico. I mean, I've been to TJ a couple times. You can just literally walk across the border. There's no one's impeding you. You don't even have to show your passport. But obviously, come back, it's gonna be a hassle. So it's just so easy. You can transfer weapons across the border, but I don't think we're trying to think of anything else, but what was I talking about? Originally the social issues with the trans issue. That's like I know you mentioned the inflation. How does I know people young. I'm 34, but I know kids my brother's age who's in the 20s that voted Democrat last time, but would not vote Democrat this time just because of that trans issue, thinking that men can play in women's sports. I mean, that's just a
whoa. Okay, what? So in terms of this, yeah. So one, you're misgendering an individual. You're saying that trans. Yeah, I like how you're laughing, but you're not letting me explain what I'm going to say.
Parker,
do you want me to explain it, or do you just want to laugh?
I'm laughing at your comment about.
I'll make you look like an idiot really quick.
Go ahead, make me
look. To do that.
Go ahead.
Okay. So again, right, you're misgendering them, right? When I think that trans women are women, right?
You're wrong.
It depends on the definition that you provide, right? So are you Christian?
I am, but I don't make.
Okay,
I don't.
Okay, so God. Wait. So I have a question. What is a man?
I am Christian, but it has nothing to do with being.
I understand, but what's a man?
I know where you go, but a man is a human being with XY chromosomes.
So God are all fathers men?
All human beings are men, correct? Or
are all fathers men?
All human fathers, yes, are men.
Okay, so not all fathers are men?
I said all human fathers are men.
No, I'm asking you specifically, are all fathers men?
I don't know. I'm saying all humans.
You don't know? You don't know if all fathers are men?
I'm saying all human being fathers are men.
Are all fathers male?
No, I'm not going down a rabbit hole with you. All human fathers are male. Correct.
Oh, so you can't make the statement that all fathers are male. Like, for example, for frogs, are all fathers male?
I don't give a fuck about. I don't give a crap about frogs. I'm talking about humans.
Okay, so I'm asking in general, are all fathers male?
You're trying to bring Christianity in. Christianity.
Can you answer the question? Are all fathers male? Yes or no?
All human fathers are male. Correct.
Why can't you answer the question about all fathers in general?
Because I'm not bringing religion to this, Parker.
Okay, when you use he him pronouns, that's only in relation to males, correct?
He him pronouns for humans, males, correct.
Okay, God the Father, he him pronouns, yet has no biology.
I don't use.
Why do you respect God's pronouns, but you won't respect trans people's pronouns?
I don't use God. I only use pronouns for God.
You don't say he him. You don't say the Father.
No, because I'm not bringing God in. I'm talking about human beings.
What are God's pronouns?
I don't know, Parker. When you tell me, I don't care.
You don't know because the Bible is very clear. It says he him.
I'm not making.
Chris, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much, Chris.
Okay, I guess for the purpose of the argument, I am atheist.
Yes, it changes internal commitments to be able to respond to me.
What do we?
You just had to throw away Christianity to respond to me, bro. That's really funny. You just lied. You just sinned under your worldview.
No, I'm not. I don't go to church every Sunday, Parker.
Wait, so you're not Christian?
No, I am Christian, but I don't regularly.
No, you are
go to church.
Christian. So if you are Christian, then you do respect God's pronouns, correct? He, him.
No, I don't.
The Bible.
Because you were talking about a liberal, progressive nonsense.
So think the $5. Wait, you mean your own fucking religion? This is just what your religion says.
I don't use pronouns with religion. So
I mean, he, him, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. I think that's a pretty vital aspect of your religion.
I've already watched your little duo with Charlie Kirk. I know where you're going.
And you still don't have a response to what I said. You know the argument. You know the chess move. And you still don't have a response.
I don't care because I'm not using religion to argue.
You did.
Gender.
You use religion behind everything. You have those commitments.
What are you talking about?
Is Jesus God?
Jesus is God. Yeah.
Okay, so you have those commitments.
What does that have to do with gender?
Yeah, because you have views on gender, meaning that it's not always biological. Because in the context of in the context of God, you didn't use it in a biological connotation. So you agree there are some usages of gender that are non-biological and coherent. So why do you insist on those non-biological coherent usages of gender that are sociological to not include trans people?
Well, so here's I guess if you want to go that way. So I don't think we should use gender at all. If you really want to get, if it really comes down to it, you know where gender started with John Money and all the experiments.
So you don't think men and women exist?
I think males and females exist.
So men and women don't exist?
If you want to go down that route, then I'm just going to say gender does not exist because
exist.
I'm not saying male. If you want to go down that route,
no, I'm not asking you about males and females. I'm asking you, do men and women exist?
Up until the last 5 years, sure. If you want to use that, gender is. I don't agree with. If you want to go down that route, I don't agree with gender entirely.
It's he's really struggling with this one.
No, I'm not struggling.
Do men and women exist, Rain?
It's Ryan, but anyways,
Ryan,
gender.
Sorry, I apologize.
Okay, male and female that's what we should only use.
But I'm asking you, do men and women exist?
In the context of men equal male and females equal women, yeah.
Okay, wait. So gender does exist?
In your context, if you want to...
No, I'm asking, does gender exist to
personally,
you?
I don't think gender exists. No.
Okay, if gender doesn't exist, men and women, under your view, don't exist.
No, male and female exist. There's only male and female,
but
dude.
men and women, under your view, don't exist. If gender doesn't exist, men and women don't exist. Bonnie, I appreciate the $10. And that's an absurd thing to say, right?
If you want to say that, gender in its construct is a very progressive... it's a progressive liberal construct, and it's been
Ryan,
twisted.
do you have pronouns?
No, I do not use pronouns.
Do you not have pronouns?
Actually, I do.
Okay, you do. Okay.
Yeah, the, she, and it. So it's ridiculous.
Okay, wait. So I just want to recognize he doesn't know that I is a pronoun. He originally said I don't have pronouns.
I don't use pronouns. I don't use pronouns in my email.
You just said
again.
I
don't use pronouns.
I said I don't use he, she, or whatever, he, him, whatever.
So your pronouns are not he, him?
So okay, yeah. So
no, I don't.
I will not use
I don't want to be
he, him.
addressed.
He doesn't know what his pronouns are. Oh, sorry, my bad. I shouldn't.
I know what my pronouns are, but I choose not to use them.
So
you know what
would you like us to refer to you as?
Why do you? What's your pronouns, Parker?
He, him. Yeah, mine are he. Are you gender fluid?
Why does it matter what pronouns I use?
Because we need to know like what to refer to you as.
Yeah, literally. Just asking. Because like I was gonna see like if Trump, you just think that you don't like pronouns and don't have them.
I don't like where
I don't like. And Bonnie, think of the 10.
Yo, Killer, thanks for the 3, and Tree, thanks for the 5. You've been an inspiration to so many people, and I appreciate you. Oh my God, you're so kind. Thank you, Tree. I appreciate you being here.
So, what is hey, this is what's going to change. We're not going to see pronouns in emails anymore starting January. I would say in the next couple of years.
What are you talking about, dude? Bax, thanks for the $5 as well. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you. And Brent, thanks for the $5 as well. I appreciate you too. Wish you could have voted. Your 18-year-old son who just turned 18. Shout out Dylan. I appreciate Dylan, and I appreciate you too, Brent. I hope you're doing well, and happy Thanksgiving. Sorry, continue.
The whole thing about pronouns is ridiculous. Like it's been transformed into a progressive talking point to like if I see a female, I'm going to use she, her, or whatever, and if a male, he, him. That's
what
it.
If somebody tells you that they don't go by those pronouns? You gonna just like disrespect them to their face?
Depends on the situation.
What, like if you like, let's say a family member comes to you and says, "Actually, I'm non-binary. I go by they, them pronouns." What are you gonna do?
They, them. I'll probably use it or whatever. I don't care. Like I usually don't. I don't have any family members that use those pronouns. But
I know. I'm asking if a family member came to you and said, I go by they, them pronouns. What would you do?
I have to think about it before I said something. because I don't use because you have to change. So if it was a female, I would usually use she, her, and I would have to, every time I address her or address, even what I'm doing right now, I would have to think about before I say something, how would I use they, them in my, when I'm talking
just
about.
replace whatever pronouns they originally had with they or them.
No, but it's not natural.
I know.
They are very smart, huh?
Pronouns are hard to use, everybody. You might think it's not natural, but I'm just asking, would you respect their pronouns?
If I respect them, yes.
Okay. So if it's somebody you don't like, you would not use the pronouns that they...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Correct.
Why would you misgender? Okay, whatever. All right, that's weird.
So should we just start misgendering Trump? I'm actually down.
Yeah, why don't we just start calling... She is going to be a terrible president.
She's going to be terrible. I've never seen someone so terrible, I promise you.
Yeah, that's kind of, this whole conversation is around pronouns and misgendering. I mean, that's ridiculous. Do you think people in China and Russia are they worried about their pronouns? No, they're not.
Okay, I'm sorry. You don't think that there are trans people or people who care about their gender in Russia? That's crazy. That's an insane take.
I said they're not. That's not what they're worried about.
What do you mean? Yes, people are. What?
No.
How can you make an overwhelming claim that everyone in Russia doesn't care? What?
I'm saying the majority of people in Russia don't care about the pronouns.
You could say majority doesn't care. I don't care. That doesn't change anything. Okay, a majority of people and plenty of cultures don't care about plenty of things.
Correct. So why should we cow down to the 1% of the 1%?
What? This is not going down to the 1% of 1%. This is just acknowledging that pronouns make sense and that you should be respectful. You think people should respect your God's pronouns. Respect trans people's pronouns, man.
Well, I disagree.
Okay, well, why do you? But love thy neighbor, by the way. Love thy neighbor. I'm Christian. I really care about everyone. I love everyone so much, but I don't love them enough to use their fucking pronouns. Okay, well, how about we just say your name incorrectly? Do you think that's justified?
I'm used to it by now.
So no, but purposefully. You understand the distinction?
Yeah, I know the distinction. But I mean, that's what this whole conversation. This is why people are not voting for the Democrats, because of this. I mean, you can say
no, it's not. There's no exit polling that indicates that.
I just watched about an hour before I got on here. I watched his name's Michael on Piers Morgan. He was a Democratic staffer. He said that was one of the number one reasons was the pronoun, or not the pronouns, but just the.
I think that person is delusional.
I don't think he's delusional.
Genuinely. If you think pronouns had to do with this election,
no, I didn't say pronouns.
I would love to see where in the exit polling does it indicate that. Please tell me. I'd love to hear where in the exit polling.
Well, I'm saying the whole issue altogether, the transgender and
no, where in the exit polling was that relevant? It wasn't even top 20. Where in the exit polling was it?
Looking at people that actually was speaking.
I think it's actually insane to say that was the problem and not reference everything else that actually showed up on the exit polling.
So you're saying that was not an issue?
Why is the problem always trans people or immigrants? What the fuck is wrong with the Republicans?
Well,
wait, Ryan, I have a question. What % of the population in the United States is trans?
I just said 1% of 1%, probably.
No, that's even wrong. Did you know that a lot of Republicans think that trans people make up 30% of the population?
I think self-identified trans. I don't think.
No.
What?
No. Hold on.
Fuck?
I'm saying the people that are right now saying they're trans. I don't think that all of them are trans. I think there's some other mental health issues.
There's no evidence indicating that.
There's autism. There's
autism doesn't cause people to be trans. No.
I think there's other issues that are can't think of the word, that are, if they think they might have other issues that they might think they have, they might be trans, but they're not. It's some other identity.
You're just saying this. You're not giving any evidence.
I'm using common sense.
That's not common sense. Just believing something because you feel like it is not common sense. That's called a trust me, bro. Look, I found your source, man. I found your source. Look, do you see it?
What does it say? It's coming up the other way.
You want to make? I'll make it big.
Do you see? Yeah, look.
Oh. It's
And
reversed,
look,
dude.
dude, look. Look, I found on page 36. Look, it's right there.
Right there.
Yeah, I see that.
That's funny, man.
So, but you were saying 20 to 30% of the population that Republicans think are trans, right?
No, I think a lot of Republicans think that. So I was just trying to test you. So, like, as it relates to this, again, trans people are not the issue. Immigrants are not the issue. As it relates to the reason why Kamala Harris lost the election is because people attributed inflation to the incumbent president. That was the main reason in the exit polling.
Okay, but I'm talking about that might be the exit point. I'm talking about actually what the campaign was saying. They were saying, oh, it was sexist, there was misogyny, all this stuff. And that's what I'm talking about. That's a bunch of lies because it was because of all that. They might think it because of that, but it was not.
Yeah, you can sit there and you can say whatever you want, right? But you're not giving any evidence that's indicating exit polling.
I'm not using exit polls. I'm going off of what the campaign and who they've been interviewed after the election, what they came out and said.
Yeah, that's exit polling, dude. Oh my Jesus Christ.
No,
Exit polling indicates after the polls. What did they indicate?
I'm talking about individual campaign staff have come out and said that.
Okay, I don't give a shit. I don't think you understand that, like, just because someone within a campaign says something doesn't mean I take it as fucking gospel, dude.
I'm going to put more, emphasis on that and what they say.
Okay. Why don't you put it on the exit polling? That actually is like evidence.
Because inflation, obviously it did have a problem, or it had a huge, impact on people who they voted for. But, what I'm arguing against is when the campaign says it's all this other like misogyny, sexism, racism, all that. I think that's false.
Obviously misogyny and racism had an impact.
No, it did not.
You don't think misogyny, you don't think people, I literally had people come up in my lives and argue because of those things they're not voting for Kamala Harris. How are you going to tell me that didn't have an impact?
And what was it? Were they already Democrats to begin with?
There were people who were Republicans and Democrats that have said that. I think that racism exists in this country.
Okay, racism,
do you think
exists.
racism doesn't exist? Do you think misogyny exists in this country?
I think misogyny exists, but it's not like an existential threat. It's not.
It's not a threat. I mean, you voted in a guy who was held civilly liable, sexually abusing a woman, bragged about walking in changing rooms of naked teenage girls because he quote unquote owns the place. Called his daughter voluptuous, which means curvy and sexually attractive. Right? Said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. Restricted women's access to abortion.
So
bragged about grabbing women by the vagina without asking.
So you want to go down that route. So when I think it was his name, Davis.
Oh, great! The live just got flagged for hateful behaviors and he got kicked. Wait, is he still here?
Yeah, he's still there. I'll kick him. Actually, I can't. There, he went away.
He got kicked. Nice. The live just got flagged for hateful behaviors.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not you. It's him. He was just throwing around shit.
Yeah, he's insane.
Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. It is late on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So Parker, thanks for coming up, man. I always appreciate it.
It was good seeing you, man.
Likewise. Have a good one. Shout out Parker. Yo, Sydney. A bunch of people I got to thank. Sydney, I appreciate the $1. Definitely can't read that out. Mads, thanks for the $3 as well. You, Parker, and Dean are the reason I'm minoring in politics. That's amazing, Mads. I'm so glad to hear that. You'll do great. You're going to love it. It's fantastic. Priscilla, thanks for the $5. Thanks for the entertainment. Yeah, that guy was pretty crazy. Jake, thanks for the 10 cents. Lindsay, holy crap, Lindsay, thanks for the $201. What the hell? Yo, please show Lindsay some love in the chat. $201 saying, I love you, Parker, but Harry can't feel left out. My God. Yo, please fill the chat with W's for Lindsay. That is like her third thing of the night. That's crazy. Oh my God, $201 out of nowhere. Please fill the entire chat with Lindsay. That is crazy. Lindsay, I appreciate you so much. I hope you know that from the bottom of my heart. I love you. You're fantastic. You're wonderful. You're amazing. And I wish nothing but success for you. That's amazing. I appreciate you so much, Lindsay. $201? You kidding me? God, man. God. Lindsay, I appreciate you. Can't say it enough, man. Wow. Yo, Kayla, thanks for the $5. If men were the ones having babies, abortion clinics would be abundant as Starbucks shops. Just saying. Fair enough. Oh my God. And Sarah, thanks for the $50. Man, I appreciate that. Thank you, Sarah, for the $50. Another $50. Thank you so much, Sarah. That's very kind. Can you make a pin for the holidays saying, yes, I voted for Harris. Ask me why. I have an extended family of 45 people. They're all Republican. They also love to egg me on. It's only my immediate family of 5 that is a Democrat, far left leaning. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd definitely do that. I would definitely do that. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you, Sarah, for the $50. And that's a really good suggestion. Sarah, again, that's like another one that she sent tonight as well. I appreciate you. Very, very kind, Sarah. Thank you. And Maggie just came in right now with $2. Love how you encourage healthy conversation and critical thinking in the lives. Really crazy how so many people have things wrong. I'm trying to stay more informed, and you've motivated me to keep doing that. Well, Maggie, that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. And thank you for being here, and thank you for doing your part. That's amazing. And Jill, thanks for the $5. Great post and lives today. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Jill. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Jake, that is a crazy ass message, bro. Thanks for the 69 cents, man. I appreciate you. And oh my God, dude. Chris, thanks for the $50 as well. My God, you guys are going insane for trying to help you to keep up with the 200 Parker God. Chris, you are too kind, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you a million times over. W's for Chris in the chat. W for Lindsay. W for Sarah. W for everybody, man. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you. A million times over. I can't tell you how much it means. And Gabby, right now, $20. Can you wish my niece Alex happy birthday? She's turning 20 tomorrow and voted for Kamala. Gabby, please tell Alex I say happy birthday, and I hope it's everything she wants. A birthday on Thanksgiving, that's pretty cool. So happy birthday to your lovely niece Alex. And also, get the chat to say happy birthday. Everybody in the chat give Alex a happy birthday as well. She deserves it. She deserves it. All right, folks. Anyway, as I mentioned, I'm going to wrap up the live there. I appreciate you all so much. So much. I post on every single social media platform. I post on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, Blue Sky. All of those links are in the bio on my page, in the link in my bio. So it would mean a lot to me if you could go to those platforms, follow there, and support. It means the world. It really goes such an incredibly long way. And also, I have some people for you to raid. And if you want to watch more debate lives, first of all, Parker just went live on his account, Parker Get a Real Job. So if you want to go check out what he's doing, go say hi to him, or you can go to Isaiah R. Martin, who's a buddy of mine, or Good Trouble. I'm sure Ahmad will pin the username so it's easy for you to read them and go there. But we have Good Trouble, Isaiah R. Martin, and Parker Get a Real Job. They're all live right now. So go show them some love. Go let them know that we appreciate them. Go let them know we appreciate the work they're doing as well. He's doing Q&As. Well, there you go. You can, if you want to go do some Q&As, why not? Yeah, Killer is going to, I think, pin that there. So Good Trouble's doing a debate live. Isaiah R. Martin's doing a debate live. Go show them some love. Go say hi and let them know that we sent you, saying Harry Raid, Harry Raid, Harry Raid, a million times over. All that good stuff. All right, everybody. I appreciate you. We will talk soon. All right. Have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your food. Enjoy your meal. Enjoy the family time. I hope that it's not too crazy with MAGA members of your family. All right. You'll do great. I know if you get in a debate, you'll do just fine. All right, everybody. I appreciate you. Have a good one. All right. We'll talk soon.